You have no idea the amount of ignorant mess we're about to get into right now.
Hello and welcome to a brand new episode of Black on Black Cinema. I'm your host, Jay. I'm here with my co-host, Micah.
Hey.
And Terrence.
What's up?
All right, guys, we're back. This is episode 145, The Hate You Give. This is the 2018 film based on the very famous book at this point, about a young girl who witnesses the shooting of her friend, and she has to then testify in front of a grand jury and also sort of run the issues of, you know, dealing with the Black Lives Matter movement and being at a white school and living in a black neighborhood. There's a number of things going on in this film. The film is directed by George Tillman Jr. And starring Amanda Stenberg, Regina Hall, Russell Hornsby, Common, and Anthony Mackie. Yeah, Common's an actor, guys.
I'm laughing more at Anthony Mackie.
Yeah,
Mr. Cut the Check. I'm not afraid of you, dude.
He's not an imposing figure.
No, he is not.
So,
Can anybody kill me? Like, nah, yo. Nah.
he's yelling that inside of his very nice Mercedes.
Right.
Windows up.
Tell Starr not to testify. Like, all right.
That movie was really bad. All right, I will start giving my thoughts on this. Look, I thought this movie was excellent. I really did. I did a review of this when I saw the screener a number of months ago. It's fantastic. I think it is a movie that didn't get enough eyes on it, apparently, which is really sad, and we can talk about the reasons why that may or may not be. But I thought this was the quintessential Black Lives Matter movie of the modern era. I really did. I think it didn't shirk from some very serious topics, and they were able to tell a story in a way that, while some parts were, as your wife would say, a little cheesy, some parts were, it still worked for me. I thought the performances were really great. Frankly, Russell Hornsby is a fucking standout. Like, and that guy needs to be a bigger name. Like, he just was. Every scene he was in, he commanded it. If you don't know who Russell Hornsby is, he was the older son in Fences. That was like the musician. Yeah, I thought it was really great. Good story. Some nice little surprise actors popping up in the movie, which was kind of cool. Yeah, I really dug it. I thought it was really good. Thanks.
Yeah, I actually saw it in the movie theater after you recommended it. It was great. I would echo everything you said. One thing about actors that I like is when they are acting, but they don't look like it. They don't seem like they're acting. I think, like you said, Russell Hornsby, he was a standout. He's very good. He's been good in everything that I've seen him in. But I think Amanda Stenberg, is that her name?
Stenberg
was excellent.
She was.
Like, she was really good. Like, it didn't feel like she was acting, and the interactions he had with everybody else in the movie, like, she's a great actress. Again, it fits. It definitely fits with the time frame we're in. Again, you said that it's the Black Lives Matter movement. It fits this perfectly. It explains it really well. Yeah, it does. like if you don't get it, this movie will basically. It'll give you a better understanding of it. Yeah, this is watching it again. It still holds up. Like, I know I only saw it a couple months ago, but like, I didn't mind watching it again.
Yeah, for
the second time, and it's a great movie. Like, if you haven't seen it, I definitely suggest you go watch it because it's great.
Listen to what I'm going to say before you react. This movie is like the films that we grew up with, like the John Singleton movies that we grew up with. Mm-hmm. You know, like Boys in the Hood and shit like that. Like, it's a message movie. And I'm not saying this movie is on the same technical level as those movies. I'm saying that they don't do these type of movies for young people anymore. And not specifically made for young people. Like, anybody can watch this movie and get something out of it. But this is speaking directly to young people.
Absolutely.
And they don't do movies like this often. And this is a wonderful, updated, message movie that that hits you, but treats you with respect. Whereas I think some of John Singleton's movies, like
Baby Boy.
yeah, what the fuck is that, right? Like,
You directed that shit, nigga. Like, fuck
Yeah,
you looking at me like that?
No, I'm mad at you for bringing it up. Bringing it up during this lovely film, bringing up a bunch of bullshit.
like this is a movie that needs to be seen in schools. Like if you
I agree with you. Actually.
if you have some sort of weird thing where you don't understand how to talk to young people, like or if you're just like a lazy substitute, like bring in the TV VCR cart combo.
Lazy
Right?
substitute. Also, I love that your references are like, man, 1995. Like schools have like LEDs. He's like, bring in the cart.
Bring in that big ass TV with the tube in the back, and it's got the cart with the VCR on the
TV
middle
is
shelf.
strapped down
And
to
it's
the
straight, yeah,
fucking-
exactly. You wheel that motherfucker in there. You throw on this movie, and you just chill for an hour and a half, 2 hours. Yeah, this movie's really good, man. This movie's really good. It says something. It's well made. Everyone acting in it does a good to exceptional job. I love it. I love it, and it needs to be in consideration for awards. That's how much I really enjoyed performances in this movie.
Wow, that's high praise. I'm surprised you went that high.
Yeah, man. I think the lead actress does a wonderful job, and I think
really fucking good.
she's really, really good. And she as a person, right?
Too bad she was so light skinned.
She is conscious. Like the actress herself is conscious.
Yeah.
She is aware of things that are going on in the world, and she speaks out on things like that.
I feel like you couldn't portray the role well enough if you weren't.
If you weren't, right. Like you said, Russell Hornsby, that guy's a fucking real ass dad, yo. Look,
nigga, I have seen this movie 3 times. Okay? Not 3 times. I've seen it twice. I have seen a particular scene that we will get to 3 times. I have cried every single time that scene shows up in this movie. Every single time. My body is just like, and this is what we're doing now. No, his performance is so fucking good.
like he's
not acting.
He's the Furious Styles of this movie, but he's like, this is really fucking good, man. Yeah. And
when did this dude start acting? Like, cause I'm
and he's
angry.
he's only
was in,
a couple years older than us.
Yeah, he's 6 years older than us. Nigga, this is you in 6 years. Tattooed up and shit. A king.
I like to hope
Lord.
I get some better tattoos.
Nah, nigga, these jailhouse tattoos. What you getting?
These tattoos look like they were done with a hot pencil.
Nigga, that's because they were. They did that shit with a Sharpie, and then they were like, roll. But this ain't filled it. Now you good. You good. You look like you suffered. Now, he's been acting since 93, technically. I mean, he was on a Bill Nye the Science Guy episode as the food truck assistant. But he's been like legitimately acting, really, if you look at his career, around 2000. Now, this guy is, I don't know what's been going on with him, but like this dude is nailing it. Like in the sort of latter years of his career, he is absolutely fucking nailing it.
Yeah. He was in Grimm.
Yeah, he's done a lot of TV acting. But once he jumped into movies, I mean, he kind of jumped into movies with fucking fences. Like, really? I mean, what a fucking boom for him. But yeah, after that, like, he's been great in everything. I haven't seen him. How was he in Creed 2? You guys both saw that.
He basically just played like a
Don King type guy. Yeah,
I can see that.
He was an instigator.
Yeah.
You gonna let that man? You gonna let a motherfucker talk about your dead daddy like that? Come on now, you know you want to kick his ass, and everybody else want to see you kick his ass too. So you should do this fight. Like that was pretty much his entire role right there.
Yeah, he's kind of a pretty Ricky kind of dude. I could see it.
Yeah. So, but yeah, man, this movie, you need to go see it, and it's really good, man. It's really good. Some of this stuff is, like you said, cheesy, but it's not eye-rollingly cheesy, and it's not, it's the message is there, but you don't get a headache from it, and you will get mad, and you will get upset, and but it's good, man. It's good. It came out at the right time, which coincidentally is one day. The wide release was one day after the screenwriter for the movie died.
God damn, really?
Yeah, she died a day before this movie was released worldwide, which sucks. But
Well, she made some impact.
Yeah.
I think this is a movie. Look, I hope more people see this.
and that's not the writer of the book, by the way. Like this is the person who adapted the book.
Right. And the book is pretty well beloved too. Like my sister-in-law and my niece, they were super excited to see the movie because they read the book and they both loved the book. And my niece is in 7th or 8th grade. So she's right in this age block that should be seeing this movie. And like when I did the review, like if you've got young people in your life that are like high school, middle school age, you take them to see it, especially kids of color. Especially kids of color. I think all kids should see it, right? Because I think it's important that even white kids go,
Especially white women, especially little white girls.
Yeah.
You need to watch this, and you need to be prepared to defend yourself when you inevitably let your whiteness consume you and you pop off with some ridiculous shit. Because it's inevitable. You're going to do it.
just get over it. Just get over it. Just get over it.
Yeah, I want to fucking kick that.
She's just a little girl. Like, don't worry. She was assaulted with a brush. She was fine. Yeah, but like my niece, who is, she's partially white, partially Indian. She presents very white. Yeah. So like I think it's a good idea for her, even because she's going to live in a world where most people are just going to assume that she's just white. Like it's good for her to see that too. Like I thought that was important, and it's also just again, it's important for all kids because even if you are not black or you are not poor or you're not a part of a marginalized community of any sort, you got to understand what it's like to be in that situation.
Yep.
So that you don't have to sympathize with people, but you can empathize with people, and that's sometimes is the only thing you can do, but at least understand and be a little bit more cognizant of the world around you. So the film starts out with Maverick, played by Russell Hornsby, and his 3 kids, Starr, 7, and Sakani, and his wife Lisa, and they're all sitting down at a dinner table where Maverick is giving the 3 kids the talk. This is the talk to tell them what to expect if they inevitably have a run-in with police, where to put your hands, what to do, what not to do, that sort of thing. He then instills them to learn the Black Panther 10-point program, which he refers to as the Black community's Bill of Rights.
Y'all have that? The
talk?
Yeah, how to deal with a traffic stop? Because they don't teach that in school, do they?
Why would they teach that in school? Nigga?
I don't know, like driving school. They don't teach that in driving school?
Because there are two
I don't know. I didn't. I'm asking, nigga. I didn't get it.
Oh no. Like, right. We learned to drive around the same time, right?
I don't know what the fuck y'all do over in Randallstown.
Yeah, they should. Frankly, they probably should have shown up. Like, look, you gotta get pulled over by the cops.
When did you get your license?
It's somewhere in Pikesville.
They had a DMV in Pikesville? I went to my Diamond, nigga.
No, they didn't. They definitely should have taught you.
Not where you took the test.
Class?
Yeah, classes.
No, they don't teach you how to deal with cops and driving.
I don't know. Look, I don't know.
Apparently, Michael was sucked into a vacuum for 2 years. What are you talking me about?
Look, I don't know, man.
No.
Like, your parents got to give you this talk.
Yeah, I learned. I got the gist of what you're supposed to do when the cops pulled us over when we were on the Jersey Turnpike when I was 7 years old, and my mother flipped the fuck out, and my father was like, "Yo, shut the fuck up! Like, I don't want to get shot on the fucking turnpike." She was flipping out. My father was in the car. Mm. I forgot why we got pulled over, but the cop was asking her questions. Yeah. Went over to her side and asking her questions, like, "Do you know this man?" She was like, "That's my husband. What the fuck is going on?"
Yeah.
And she's like, she wigged out, and he was looking at her like, "Yo, shut up. Let me deal with this. Get back in the car. Shut up." She was like, "Ah," like, "Yo." Mm. And me and my brother were in the back seat. Was like, okay,
what's going on?
What's going on? Why are we not in New York yet?
What the fuck is the hold up?
Oh, I don't know. Or maybe I think we were going to Boston to visit my grandmother at the time. Either way, yeah. I think he may have given us a talk then. I can't necessarily remember, but yeah, I remember that day clearly. Like, he pulled us over for no reason, and my mother was getting really agitated, and my father was like terrified for his life.
Yeah, that seems about right.
So that was fun.
Yeah,
Never got pulled over. Never got pulled over by the cops.
All the time.
I mean, like as a kid, while you were
as a kid, as an adult. All the time. There was one time when my father, who was in his Sunday best, because we were going to like church or some shit, so he got pulled over. Apparently, he was speeding, and right near Tiverton. You know what that's at.
I know exactly what Tiverton is.
And he got pulled over. And the guy, my father thought that the guy was reaching for his gun, and my father started getting belligerent. I'm just like, please don't get us shot. Please don't get us shot, right? Because, like, I get it, right? Like, but at the same time, like, you got to treat the cops like the wild animals that they are. You know what I mean? Like, they don't know how to think. Right, because they're programmed to do one thing. They're like telemarketers. They're programmed to just plow through the script.
They're automatons,
right? And you have to know that going in. Like I remember somebody got upset when like, oh, you just cowtown, nigga. Like you got the right to do whatever you were like. Nah. I'm not here to fucking prove nothing to nobody.
Well, we're gonna get into that because I'm gonna have a controversial.
I don't think you're gonna. I don't think so. But we'll get there.
No, I think it's going to be controversial
to them
widely. There's something in this movie. I'm just like, no, don't do that.
I know exactly what you're talking about. Yeah, and it's not to me. It's
I know it's not good
because I was like. Okay, well, we'll get there.
Because I think people talk a lot of shit because they ain't never been in shit. It's like, man, all right, you go ahead and be a superhero, nigga. I will happily put your name on the list of people who were here. Like, no.
I will be sure to eulogize you properly.
Yeah. No. You did great. Okay. So yeah, he sits down and has a talk with them, which is an important scene that becomes incredibly relevant later on. Fast forward to modern day, and Starr, who is the oldest of the three kids, is 16 years old and attending a predominantly white school that's not in her neighborhood of Garden Heights. She goes to a school in the sort of upper crust neighboring area of Williamson. Her mother, Lisa, played by Regina King, when she was young, made it out of Garden Heights. So she insisted on sending her children to a good school that won't get them killed or wrapped up in the system, thus ruining their lives, not getting killed, pregnant, whatever. Meanwhile, Maverick, they actually live in Garden Heights, but meanwhile, Maverick runs a local store in Garden Heights, like a corner store kind of thing. And they said like the closest Walmart to them, it's like 32 minutes away. So this is all being said sort of a voiceover. And
it's kind of wild. Well, like technically, I guess it's not.
It's like a food desert, basically.
Yeah. I have like 3 Walmarts within 15 minutes.
Yeah. None of us live in a food desert.
Yeah. No, not at all.
You can't live in a food desert where there's a fresh market that costs as much as fucking Whole Foods 3 minutes up the road from you.
I got a Wegmans, I got a Wise, and whatever the fuck else I have within 5 minutes of my phone.
Yeah. We have, let's see, like a Shoppers, which is like a normal price grocery store, a Shoppers, a crazy expensive grocery store, a Whole Foods, which is also crazy expensive, and 2 Trader Joe's. Like, we are very privileged.
15 minutes away from
we're very privileged comparative to a lot of people where they don't have access, right? Or you live where Andy lives and there's not a fucking real store within 500 miles.
Real store. There's not a store.
You gotta go to like, where's he in?
Winnemucca.
You gotta drive to like Reno to go to the movies. It's like 7 hours away.
Winnemucca looks like the back lot that they shot Thor at.
That's absolutely true. So true. He's like, hold on a second, I gotta take my horse and go down to the old trading post to get a fucking gallon of milk. Dude, move to a city.
He has to stock up on fucking staple goods just to get staple goods back to his house.
Winter's coming. They live in that cabin from fucking the Hateful Eight. We gotta get back. Boy, there's a storm brewing, boy.
Jesus Christ. You gotta move, bro.
Yeah, he's trying. He's like, yo, I gotta get the fuck out. So yeah, he runs a store in Garden Heights.
The movie does this thing that I really don't like, or it gets super cliche. Like they have the two different color palettes for the two different areas of the state or wherever she goes to school. It's like all like blue,
drab
and shit like and
devoid of color.
Yeah, but like where she lives is like just like warm and like that's corny to me. Like that was I'm like
it's a
you
very
don't really need it for this movie. It's a very stereotypical style for this type of movie. Come on, man.
Like I don't mind it if the areas aren't as completely different. Like you're trying to show something is not quite right. Like the Matrix in the real world, right? Like the real world has bluish overtones, but the Matrix is kind of green, right? But there's such a stark contrast to literally everything that it feels excessive.
It's ridiculous. I'm like, okay, there's really no need for this, but okay, fine.
Yeah. That's kind of funny. So one of the things we also find out about Maverick is that he used to be the right-hand man for a man named King, played by Anthony Mackie, who's the leader of these local drug dealers named King Lords.
Okay.
No, Anthony Mackie is a very, very scary guy in this movie.
I was terrified.
I was like, wow, Falcon, you're really, really terrifying. Driving around, just looking.
Really afraid that he was going to be able to beat up Maverick.
I'm about to whoop your ass. Like, no, you're not.
The Hornsby is like 6 inches taller, 50 pounds heavier.
He gonna beat you to death. Yeah, you better
I don't
have.
think this is gonna go the way you want it to go, nigga. You better have a gun.
You better have 4 guns. Yeah, get out of here. So we see Starr lamenting about being two different people, right? She's got the Starr at home with her friends, where she's Black Starr. Hey, I'm black. It's cool. Like no big deal. What's that?
Black Starr. Most definitely lip quality.
Yes, thank you. Thank you. God damn it. Didn't they also spell it with 2 R's? Or no?
I believe so.
No. They should have had a second album.
I love that album.
That's fucking great. Yeah. And then at school, she's sort of putting on this notion of being sort of purposely not falling into the ideas of like doing things that can be perceived as ghetto or perceived as hood or anything like that. So she's purposely being like, if my white friends do these things, I don't do them. I don't do slang. I don't do any of that stuff to avoid it. Right. So it's code switching, but it's code switching to the most extreme case, which is to not just play down certain things, but to play down everything about yourself just to fit in. So, that's a big crux of sort of her awakening in this movie too. She recently had a small falling out with her boyfriend Chris, who's white, because he proposed having sex when she wasn't ready. He wins her back by making her a new beat. She says that he thinks he's DJ Khaled, which is hilarious. And then he dances, as I wrote, whitely to embarrass himself in a hallway in school for her affection. In a voiceover, she talks about how the rich white girls at the school stare at them and wonder why Chris dates her. Probably because she's attractive and, well, you guys look like you look. Sorry, I saw those 2 white girls. I was like, pretty mediocre looking. Starr has 2 white girlfriends, one of which is a fucking bitch, that she hangs out with at school, and their relationships become more relevant later on. Later on, the color palette changes as she goes to a party in Garden Heights, and that shit is lit, as the kids would say, right, Micah? Right? That's what you would say?
You pronounced light incorrectly.
Oh, yes, thank you. And she's there with her half-brother's half-sister, I guess, Kenya, who's pretty ghetto, pretty hood. And they're at a party. They're all having a good time. She's not sure she should even be at this party because, like, she feels uncomfortable. She's kind of dressed tomboyish, and everybody else is, as Kenya says, laid and slayed. And I don't know what that means. I think that's meant for girls to look good. I don't know. Anyway, Kenya is like super hood, and she's also King's daughter. And so I think her being the daughter of the head drug dealer allows her to just be a fucking asshole to just about everybody. And she sees some girl at the party, and she's like, yo, I'll fight that girl.
Like,
wait, what?
You are going to fight her? Like,
she was like, you gonna come and help me fight this girl? And she was like, no, this is why you brought me to this party? What the fuck? And she's like, you wasn't going to be doing nothing else. It's like, that's not a reason to come to a party. Like,
yeah.
I too like to dance. So she decides that she's going to beat up a girl named Denasia. And, I mean, because of course. And her and another friend, like, go down there to, like, fuck her up. And so at that point, Star's like, I'm good. She pulls a fucking Tyler and was like, I'm gonna go stand over here. And so she goes and stands on a wall, and she's alone. Cut to a few minutes later, some pretty Ricky ass nigga comes in.
It's Ralph Tresvant, man.
Yeah.
Is that who he played?
Yeah.
That makes a lot of sense, actually. That's pretty good casting. Her old childhood friend, Ralph Tresvant, aka Khalil.
He was in
Detroit.
That Detroit, that Catherine Bigelow movie.
Is that Algie? Is that Algie Smith?
Yeah, he can't keep himself from getting shot.
Oh, he didn't get shot in the last one. He didn't get shot in Detroit. He survived.
Oh, yeah, he did survive.
He survived.
That's right, yeah.
Every time he's around people, somebody gets shot. Yeah. I wasn't sure if that was
Stay
him or
in
not.
fucking trouble, nigga. Like,
No, don't be in a movie with Algie Smith, dog. Like, unless you're the main character, you might not make it.
Right. And even if you are, it might be one of them twisted monkey paw type movies where the main character does die.
Yeah, like, oh, what movie is this? Saving Private Ryan 2 with Algie Smith. Okay, I'll be in it. You're not going to make it, dog. Yeah, I wasn't sure if that was him or not. That's funny. So they're childhood friends, and it becomes very clear that he's selling drugs for the King Lords because he's got all this money and he's looking like kind of like a baller or whatever. And so they're having fun at the party, making fun of people, goofing around. And so a fight breaks out at the party between characters we don't know, and shots are fired, and everybody in the party scatters. Have you guys ever been to a party that like somebody started shooting?
Not a party.
Not a party.
Like Mondawmin Mall?
No, at
That's my example. Happened twice.
Liberty and Old Court. Remember they used to have a theater there?
Liberty and Oak. Yeah, I used to work at that theater.
Yeah, they used to have a theater there.
It's like a dollar theater?
Yeah, the dollar theater.
$1.50, nigga. Put some respect on it. I used to work there. Yeah, don't do that. Don't do that.
And me and this guy named Ron we went one day to see Demolition Man, and it was New Year's.
Nigga, I was working that summer, yo.
It was New Year's Eve. Like it was New Year's Eve because they got their movies late, right? Because it's $1.50.
Yeah.
So it was New Year's Eve. We went to see Demolition Man, and we heard shots, and it didn't. I didn't think that, it's New Year's. I thought, niggas is shooting.
I gotta go.
Let's start running. And then we ran, and my father saw us coming off of Old Court. As you're coming towards Liberty, he saw us and picked us up. We jumped in the back of his pickup, and we were scared shitless. And he was like, it's New Year's. It was probably just firecrackers. You bitches.
So it really wasn't gunfire.
Probably wasn't.
This is the worst story I've ever heard.
Hey,
Yeah.
Micah, have you ever been around gunfire?
I live in Pikesville, guys. Pikesville.
You could have just said no. Your story just showed you a cow.
Your story was like, I thought so, but it was fireworks. What? No,
You're a goddamn coward. That's what you are. Come on.
around where I had to like scatter.
Yeah, just be like, oh shit, bring out son.
Yeah. Movie theater when I went to go see.
What is going on with our people?
No, I went to go see on Training Day.
That's how niggas show appreciation for films. Instead of clapping at the end of a movie, they just bust off.
That shit makes no sense.
It wasn't the end of the movie, nigga. Like I didn't finish it the first time. I had to go see it again in Owings Mills.
Where was safe? Like,
No, I went to go see the movie in Security.
oh shit.
Oh, that's your fucking problem.
Yeah.
man.
It was like the midnight showing too, my nigga.
Just asking for trouble.
Nigga, are you sure it wasn't you doing it? Like, what
No,
the
I was
fuck?
good. We had come from. That was a nigga, yo. Double T Diner.
Yeah,
I was coming from Double
yes,
T
this is what I
Diner.
can stay with.
Coming from Double T Diner, we decided to stop by the movies. Like this was a night of shenanigans, if you will. Because I think that was the same night where this old dude told this young kid he was going to put a hot one in him. They were about to fight at Double T, so we were like, yeah, we got to get the fuck out of here, and we went to go see Training Day.
He followed y'all. He was standing behind you.
I guess so, because the niggas started busting off in the theater, and it's cleared the theater out. And I think I heard some gunshots last night. Also,
I definitely heard gunshots in my old neighborhood. 100%. A lot.
yeah, I was dropping somebody off, and yeah, there was gunshots. Like, gotta go.
That is unfortunate for y'all.
Never heard gunshots.
You see where I live now.
Yeah.
The loudest thing you can hear over here is somebody dropped their menorah out the window. Oops. Yeah.
Somebody's dog barking.
Yeah. And it's mine. It's my dog.
Yeah, there's
Fuck
been a
that.
few times that I've heard gunshots where I'm like, I gotta get the fuck out of here.
Yeah. Nope. No thanks.
You can tell the difference
Yes.
between a gunshot and firecrackers.
No,
But apparently you can't. But
I can't because I choose not to put myself in certain situations.
Look at this guy. He
Sometimes,
thinks he's
Like
better
the
than us.
Double T die, I don't think it. I know it.
Double T Diner has some good food when you're hungry at night.
Yeah, even I don't buy that shit.
Right.
Yeah. How drunk were you?
No, I wasn't drunk.
How drunk were the people with you? Somebody was inebriated in some way.
I was 20.
So? Did you follow the rules? Fuck out of here.
Like, what was it? 2000? When did Training Day come out? 2001, right?
I don't remember.
Yeah, I think I was 20. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's why I went to Double T
yeah,
Diner.
you're allowed to drink then. You're fine. Just don't get caught by...
No, I wasn't drunk. I just was 20 years old. And I went to a screening of Training Day at midnight in Security. Nigga. Like,
Yeah, you should have gotten shot in the ass. Like, you did everything to defy logic.
well,
Let's do the following bad things.
We've sworn off security for far less.
Yeah.
no.
We went to see
That
Mortal
was the last-
Kombat, and it came down, was like, Mortal Kombat. We were like, and that's it.
That's it. yo.
That was the last time I went to Security Square, to Security Theater.
Yeah. 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 if they-
17 years ago.
Yeah, when they shot in the theater, it should absolutely be the last time. You're right. Congratulations, Terrence. You did one thing correct. You really put yourself out there. I'm not going to go where people are getting shot. Yeah. Well,
Parties? No, I didn't go to enough parties to have them start busting off.
I've never been to a party that people started shooting.
I've never been to a party. Oh, that's a joke. I've been to a party and I've left early because I find them boring.
Because you don't drink.
Right. So what the fuck am I doing here? Watching other people have a good time.
See, drinking can be fun.
So
So after they run out of the party, they hop in. Starr hops in Khalil's car. He agrees to drive her home, make sure she's all right. They're driving, and they stop. And while they're driving, Starr is like, "Yo, why are you giving me a hard time about my music?" Because he made some joke earlier about her music. He's like, "Why are you giving me a hard time about my music when you listen to all this old stuff?" And I was like, "Bitch, that's my life. Don't do that. Like, fuck. That was only 25 years ago." Like, Jesus Christ. Yeah, we are fucking old. Because he's listening to Tupac. And he starts doing the thing that all Tupac fans do, which is the same thing that vegans and people who do CrossFit do, which is tell you all about Tupac. No one cares anymore, is my attitude, personally. Not a huge Tupac fan. I think he's talented. but I'm not a huge fan.
I told it to my wife yesterday. It was like, I'm not a big Tupac person, you know. She was like, what? I can't believe it. How could you not be a big Tupac person? What's your favorite Tupac song? Let me get my phone. Like, what? Get your phone.
One you love?
Right.
Yeah, you could at least do the big hits. Keep your head up. Like, come on. I was just never a huge Tupac fan. Like,
I wasn't either.
No, I'm a Biggie guy. Like, if it's the war between, you know, sweet and savory grits, Tupac and Biggie, I'm on the savory Biggie side. Like, I like my I don't like my dogs fat. I like my rappers fat.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
Yeah. Big Pun, Biggie, Chub Rock,
Heavy D,
Grand Pooba. I think I'm out of fat rappers. Fat Joe. It's right in the title. Yeah, so he talks about, he does do this thing where he talks about a Tupac lyric, which is thug life, which is the hate you give little infants fucks everybody, right? And she's like, okay, like she didn't quite get it. And he was basically saying like, the terrible shit that you feed to little kids, they grow up and then those kids grow up to be adults and they while out, right? And that's what fucks society. And she's like, oh, okay, like, that's a really salient point. Thanks, Tupac. Which is a salient point.
Was Gary Busey a big Tupac fan? Because Gary Busey does that shit all the time, right? Like he'll take a word and then just make an acronym out of it.
Does he work for the Senate?
Like, you see, you got to think about next. Never execute xylophones terribly. What the fuck are you talking about, yo?
Well, he also got into a horrible car accident, and his brain don't work no good. Gary Busey's insane. He looks like the halfway point of when they beat Whitey Bulger with a padlock in the back of the head. He's got the eye like bulging out and shit. No, he's just not sane. So he explains that to her, and that obviously is the crux for the title of the movie. So he does like the cool guy thing, stops the car. Look, ladies, it must be that you just let us pull off our stupid moves and just allow it.
Oh, yeah, they allow it.
They just gotta allow it, right? Because we're not slick. He stops the car. He takes the seatbelt off. Yeah, I think you're gonna make a move because you really can't with the fucking safety shit in the way.
You can't just be like, oh, shit.
Hold on, girl. Give me a second. And you can't look cool taking the seatbelt off, by the way. Like, you look super obvious. Yeah. And so he takes the seatbelt off, and he gives her this kind of little speech, and he makes a move, and he kisses her. And she tells him, look, I mean, she wasn't against the kiss, obviously, but she tells him that, yeah, she has a boyfriend. And he says, yeah, he knows, but yeah, they got their whole lives ahead of them to see where things go.
Yeah, and they grew up together. I think we skipped that part.
Yeah, like since they were babies.
They've been friends forever.
Right. So so then the second they pull back onto the road, they get pulled over by the cops. And Khalid is not taking the cop particularly seriously. Meanwhile, Starr is taking it incredibly seriously because of the speech that her father gave her, which I imagine was throughout her life. And so she's got her hands up on the dash and everything.
Do y'all do all that? I did that once just to see what would happen.
Oh, right? Hands on it? No, I don't do all that shit.
I don't do that, no.
Because I usually keep my hands on the steering wheel, right?
Yeah,
keep my
I'll
hands
do
on
that.
the steering wheel. And usually, I'll have my license in my hand, in the steering, because I know, I've seen the script. I've seen the script. I know you're just going to blow through it, right? So here they are. But I was like, you know what? Let me see how this is going to work, right? And I put my hands on the dash, and I know why I got pulled over, right? Because I didn't have a tag on, like I had the tag in the window, and I put my hands on the dash because this was right after another black person got shot by cops. So I put my hands on the dash, and the cop comes up to me and is like, "What are you doing?" I was like, I've just got my hands here so you can see him, sir. Not sir. I don't call officers sir. I said, I just got my hands here so I can see him, so you can see him. And he was like, "Don't do that. It makes me nervous. Just put your hands." He was like, "Just put your hands on the steering wheel. You're fine. You're fine. I just wanted
Makes
to
me
know."
nervous.
He's like, look, nigga, I'm about to shoot you for being.
Right.
I don't trust you now.
Right. So I was like, all right, well, okay. He was cool.
You lift your hand, like, what you trying to do? Like, oh shit, what's up? I said, lose. We can't win.
Right. But yeah, he was like, take your hands off that. Just leave him on the steering wheel. You're fine.
Like, nigga, calm down.
All right, fuck you. Stop trying to ease your fragile little ego, bitch. And then that's when you get shot, right? Because
You can't win for losing.
can't win for losing. You're right.
So, look, Khalid does something, and this is not to say that his death is his fault. It's not. But he does something that I see a lot of people sort of weirdly advocating and doing in videos that I think is incredibly dangerous, which is being very flippant with police officers. Like, it's not, like, I understand the notion of, like, I'm not kowtowing anybody. I'm not. Look, man, like, this is your life, yo. This isn't the difference between getting a $50 fine and a $65 fine. This is the difference between living and dying.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not saying you gotta, like,
You ain't gotta
play the spoons and shit.
Yeah, you ain't gotta be yes sir, no sir, and all that shit. But you know,
Don't mouth off to cops.
You don't
man.
have to come and see license registration. What you pull me over for, yo? Like
don't do that,
Like,
man.
how about you ease into that?
Yeah.
before you ask why you've been pulled over.
Right. Like, to me,
That's all.
like, but I mean, okay, this is the part that I was clearly talking about. I'm like, no, my nigga, like, what are you doing?
Yeah, just give him your fucking license, dog.
I'm not giving you my license. Yo,
You don't need to see my ID.
Nigga, come on, yo, don't do that.
I mean, if you're walking on the street, fine.
That's a different story.
You don't need to show your ID, but if you get pulled over for whatever reason, like, you gotta have proof that you're driving, right?
Yeah.
Right. Like,
Now, see, I imagine that you, Terrence, would be the one that would just be like, no, fuck you.
No, I don't want to get shot.
Oh, okay.
Like, I've been pulled over a lot in my life. I'm still here, nigga.
Look, I don't know, man.
Officer, have you heard the spoons?
I'm like the last time I got pulled over, it was like 2 years ago, actually. What was the second to last Fast and Furious movie? Because I was almost late, remember?
I do remember that. You were late to a Fast and Furious movie for getting pulled over. That was fucking funny.
Yeah. Yo, the shit was fucking wild.
That's a hilarious
I got
story.
pulled over. I was driving. I'm on Liberty Road.
It's like tripping and falling into a puddle on the way to see Aquaman.
Rush hour traffic. So it wasn't speeding.
I remember it. You were like,
can't
how the
speed.
fuck? Like, how the fuck was I
I
speeding?
can't speed. I had my hoodie on. I had my hoodie on. I had the black Audi at the time. And apparently,
Oh, well, you stole that shit, man.
You rich.
so he pulls me over, and I'm like, why? Like, I asked him, like, why did you pull me over? And he's like, license and registration. I had my license already out and my registration. I'm like, what the fuck did you pull me over for? I'm like, what did you pull me over for? He goes back to his car. He didn't tell me. Goes back to his car, runs my license and everything. He said, there's like some kind of flag on your license plate. I'm like, well, why did you run my license plate to begin with? He was like,
Yeah, they're not supposed to fish like that.
he didn't have an answer for me. I'm like,
Right.
I didn't think so. And he gave me my shit back. And I called my insurance company, and it was fixed back in January. The movie came out. When the fuck did
I don't know.
it came out in like
It's like late
whenever.
summer.
Late, yeah. I'm like, I got that shit fixed in the beginning of the year. So it wasn't flagged. I don't know what the fuck they did.
No, he saw a previous flight. He was like, close enough.
Yeah, he pulled me over because I had my hoodie on, and he couldn't answer why he pulled me over because when he came back, he's like, yeah, your license plate was flagged. I'm like, well, why did you run it?
Right.
I wasn't speeding. I wasn't doing it. I physically could not speed. If I was speeding, I'd have ran into the person in front of me.
Yeah, it's
was
in
so
rush
fucking
hour
wild.
traffic.
Yo, on Liberty Road.
Right. Come on.
Y'all know how, like, to those Liberty Road and Ricestown Road are terrible.
You're doing a maximum of 23 miles an hour.
I was doing maybe like 25.
So that's exactly what I said.
Yeah. And I had to pull over. I had to get over on the other lane. I was in the fucking right lane. I had to get all the way over to pull into the Bank of America parking lot on Offutt and Liberty. It was fucking nonsense. But yeah. I asked him. He didn't give me an answer. But like, there was really no reason. But I had my license and registration already out when he pulled me over, and Yeah, I don't mouth back to the cop because I don't want to get shot. I just don't.
Yeah,
and that's the thing. Like, I don't think people, white folks, really realize, like, when we get pulled over by the police, we're not worried about a fucking ticket. We're worried about whether these niggas are going to shoot us or not.
Yeah,
right.
Like, that's a real fear, and I don't think you.
Here's a $50 ticket. Thanks. Right. Gotta go.
Right.
No, that wasn't the last. The last time I got pulled over, he gave me a fucking warning, and I almost cried with relief. I think I had that shit laminated because I've never gotten a fucking warning.
I've never gotten
for
a warning.
speeding.
I've
gotten
speeding.
tickets, but never. I've gotten plenty of tickets. I've gotten a $500 ticket once, but never ever a warning.
Jesus. I have gotten
ticket.
2 warnings. 2 warnings before.
I got 2 tickets for speed. One was in Florida, which fuck Florida, and then the other one was a couple years ago, like back in 2009 when I was speeding, but again it was bullshit. It was like 1 o'clock in the morning, and I got pulled over like 2 months ago for speeding.
Wow, I haven't been pulled over in years.
It was like 1 in the morning. I was speeding home. He gave me a warning. I was like, "Yo,
Was
thank
it black?
you." No, it was a white dude. I was fucking shocked.
What the fuck?
Like, it was 1 in the morning. I wasn't driving crazy. I was just
He's
speeding.
probably like,
I was like
just
in the,
take
I was
it
in the
easy.
center lane, and I'm like, whatever.
Yeah, you weren't causing you weren't a danger to anybody.
Like reckless driving.
No, I wasn't going crazy. I was doing like 82 miles an hour. I was tired.
Yeah.
But he gave me a warning, and I still have I have the ticket in the house because I kept that motherfucker because I couldn't believe it. But yeah, like, we worry about getting shot, not just for like getting a ticket. I did get a $200 ticket that I got in DC.
Yo, DC
is some old bullshit because
DC is terrible.
I got a $200 ticket from a speed trap.
Yeah,
I didn't know it was
the
there.
camera. Yeah.
I didn't know the speed limit.
The point.
I didn't know the speed limit was 25. I was doing like 40, and it gave me a $200 ticket.
And they make sure to put those things where there are no speed limit signs. What'll happen is
fucked up.
They'll put a speed limit sign, and then like a mile or 2 down the way, you won't see another speed limit sign, but there'll be a hidden cabinet somewhere.
Yeah, I saw the flash. I'm like, was that for me?
Yep.
And then I got that bitch in the mail. That's just at 200. I'm like, nigga, y'all are wild. Like, the most I've ever gotten before was like 60, and that was here. Like, yo, I'm not.
I get speeding.
Can I fight that?
No,
that's crazy.
I mean,
no.
And if I don't pay by a certain amount of time,
you can waste your time.
To 400.
Yeah.
I was like, y'all are fucking bugging. Like, I don't have $200
and they don't make it easy for you to pay it online. Like, you
I don't like that.
They don't make it easy for you, man. Like, and then you gotta, like, my wife got one. And she waited to the last minute because she thought she could pay it online. And lo and behold, the website ain't working. So she had to hurry up and get that shit posted in the mail and have the mail stamp the shit.
Yeah,
before, like, all right, yo.
That shit is fucking foul, yo. Like, $200? Nigga, that ain't nothing to hit. Like, it wasn't like I was in like a crowded. Fuck, yo, DC can suck my dick, yo. That shit is ridiculous, yo.
Yeah, I don't
Shit is insane,
care.
Man. But anyway, we worry about getting shot. Yeah, not the tickets.
No, I will happily take a $50 ticket over not bleeding to death. Thank you.
But yeah, Khalil, he does that whole thing. Like, why do you need to see my license? And this is the part I'm like, yo, nigga, what are you doing?
Yeah.
He told him to get out the car. He gets out the car and he's starting to talking to Starr. And she's like, yo,
shut up.
Pay attention and stop moving, nigga. He's like, what are you doing?
But I do think there is a lot of, and I don't want to be insensitive here, but like I do think there is a lot of tough talk I see online, like, don't respond to cops. No, yo, because that's the type of shit that gets people killed. Now, that's not to say that the people who've been killed by cops and stuff like that, that's what they did or they deserved or anything like that. But there are things that you can do to make the situation less difficult. I'm not saying that it'll stop an asshole cop from doing something. That's not my point. But you can absolutely put yourself in a worse position by doing, like he does. I mean, again, it's not taking away the fact that the cop murdered him for no fucking reason. But you can't just be like, hey, motherfucker, I don't give a fuck. You can't tell me what to do. Like, no, yo, no. I don't know what your fucking problem is. And as much as I hate the thing that Common says to her later on, he's not completely incorrect. Which is, you can't be like talking to the person next to you and not showing your hands and mouthing off to cops. Like, No, look, I don't fuck with cops. I don't like cops. Not a fan. If you're a cop listening, sorry, nigga. I can't stand your ass. I just can't. I don't care if you're black or white. Look, I'm a black man in America. Like, I have experienced cops in my family that are assholes. Like, I have just experienced that shit. I am not a fan of cops. Look, glad you do what you do. I own shit. When my shit gets stolen, I'm gonna call y'all so y'all can handle it. That's your job. I get it. Don't mean I really fuck with y'all like that. But I just don't. So, that all being said, you still got to understand the situation that you're in. You just have to. And like that sort of mouthing off shit that people, because like people get real bold on Twitter and shit and be like, yeah, don't say that. Nah, yo, you telling somebody how to get shot, nigga. Like, fuck that. Yeah, they gonna mourn you do a hashtag and shit, but then meanwhile they're telling you how to amp your way into that. Like, don't do that. And again, you don't have to play the fucking spoons. Yes, sir. No, sir. Yes, ma'am. No, ma'am. You don't have to do all that. You could just be like, you ask me a question, I'm going to answer it directly. That's it. Don't give people a reason to be, look, they already suspect us of being guilty of something shit because of our skin color. Like 100%. What are you trying to make it worse for? I'm just look. Like I would, whatever you want to call it, I can kowtow for 5 minutes so I can drive home and see my family at night. Fuck that. And my pride is not that high that I need to worry about, like, you ain't going to embarrass me. Nigga, you going to be dead tomorrow. So who cares? Where's your pride when you're in a fucking casket? It doesn't matter. So he gets pulled out of the car. Starr immediately tries to film it. The cop says, drop the phone. Look, I'm going to need cops who say shit like that. You need to go to jail immediately. Yeah. You can't tell people to not film you when it's legal for them to film you in whatever particular state. And also states that don't allow you to film cops, your state is trash. Like it is. Because that's only just an excuse for cops to do whatever the fuck they want. It's just bullshit. There's no logical reason behind it. So she drops the phone, and Officer 115 heads back to his car. He takes Khalil's license and to run it. And so meanwhile, Starr is searching around for her phone, and Khalil is like looking back in the car. And he's like talking to her, and he's like, I ain't worried about him. And she's like, yo, I'm not playing. Go back. He's like, yo, why are you messing with my car and all this other shit? And he reaches in to get his hairbrush. He pulls his hairbrush out, and the cop shoots him immediately because he thought that it was a weapon. And of course, this is all caught on a dash cam. Starr runs out after her friend. The cop trains his gun on her. Then she puts her hands up. He grabs her and puts her in handcuffs. Meanwhile, Khalil is dying on the ground after being shot, I guess once or twice. And you can hear the ambulance coming in the background. It's obviously been called, and Khalil dies right in front of Starr. Which, this is where the movie takes a hard pivot from, hey, this is kind of an interesting teen movie, to, wow, this movie has a lot to say immediately. We then see Starr testifying in front of, or not testifying, but being questioned by two cops. Cops at the station interview her, asking her about Khalil selling drugs, his background, etc. Little to no questions about what happened during the shooting, thus doing more character assassination on Khalil, which is, of course, par for the course. Starr remembers the officer's badge number 115 and states that he killed Khalil for no reason. Then we get Common coming in playing Uncle Carlos, who is a cop, and he says the interview is over and that's his niece, and walks Starr and Lisa, her mom, out of the room. And so thus begins sort of the break of the film. And Starr wakes up the next day, and her father is there as she has a nightmare of Khalil being killed, and he's right there when she's sick. She gets sick immediately. Because obviously, as a former drug dealer, he remembers probably seeing his friends get killed. So he understands what it's like. They sit down to breakfast. And Starr is just visibly very like fucked up. And he basically tells her, like, look, you know, I didn't name you. I named you Starr because you're supposed to shine a light on the situation. So use your voice.
Yeah, but what's with that extra R, though, Dad? Like, what's with the extra R?
real light. Like really. Don't just shine it, really shine it. Oh boy. And then you get a moment of her brother stealing bacon off of her plate, which is a single moment of lightness in an otherwise pretty rough series of moments. As the family goes to see Khalil's mom at her house, Carlos shows up to give his condolences and lets Maverick and Starr know there will be a full investigation of the cop who shot Khalil.
Yo, that's a little in bad taste, isn't it? If you're Carlos and you're a cop, come showing up in your uniform. Or
you think it's because he's in the uniform?
Yeah.
Is that the?
That's the in bad taste part to me. You know,
Yeah, I get it. Yeah. I mean, he's probably on duty and he's in that area, so he's just like going to see. But yeah, I get that.
Yeah. You even hear somebody in the background like, what the I know this nigga is not.
Right. Yeah. Again, that wasn't an actor. That was just a black person.
Right. Excuse me?
By the way, everybody in this house, they're not actors. They're just black
Yeah,
people.
just black people.
Yeah, they just were. Like, yeah, everybody got an aunt or an uncle who looks like somebody in that room. They just do. Yeah, so he does come in and he's like, "Look, I'm really sorry about what happened, and my condolences." And he's not leaving his condolences as like from the police force. He's leaving his condolences as Carlos and from his wife, right? Because he's from that area, so he knows he knows this kid. I mean, look, that's a hard thing. I have to imagine being a black police officer, especially at this time, has got to be tough.
It depends, man. It depends. I know black police officers. They're friends of people that I used to work with, right? And his name's Tillman. Fuck him. And he is very much a black cop, or he is a cop that's black.
Yeah,
if you get my meaning.
Yeah,
right?
There's a difference.
He's a cop first, and black second.
I don't like niggas like that.
And what's funny is he's a nigga, yo. He's a straight up like niggerish type dude. And he's cop before he's black.
Yeah, I would argue cops are kind of like a gang anyway.
Yeah.
I mean, they have a very gang mentality. They do.
Yeah. Like he's a Blue Lives Matter type.
Oh, see, all right, yo.
Like,
nope.
Let me see if I can find.
Look, you come at me with that Blue Lives Matter shit. You eat a dick. Like, I'm sorry, nigga. You signed up for that job. You signed up for that job. And if you weren't in your uniform, the same people who you call brothers, if they didn't know you, they put a bullet in your ass. Nah, fuck off. Oh, Black Lives Matter means only Black Lives Matter. Really? Then why do you say Blue Lives Matter? Right? You already know what it means. You're just lying.
I had a bunch of fucking
fuck right off.
Yeah, I had a bunch of arguments with a friend of mine that he became a cop. It's very strange that he became a cop out of all things.
It's always the dudes you're like, you really?
Yeah, I'm like, nigga, serious? His name is Jason, whatever.
Like, fuck him too.
I gave him that same spiel. Like, yo, you chose to become a cop. Like, yeah, I understand. You see some wild shit out on the field,
dangerous.
Especially in Baltimore. He's a Baltimore City cop.
Nope.
I'm aware that you see some wild shit, but like, come on, bro. Like, I didn't. That's not the career path I chose. You chose that shit.
Yeah. Like, and look, I hope you're okay.
Yeah, I hope you don't get shot. But like, nigga, nah, man, fuck you.
Yeah, no.
And I get it. I really do understand. Like, they should have like mental health days and shit like that.
Sure,
they should give them that because like you do see some crazy. Like, she might get their head blown off. You come to a crime scene with somebody with a bullet in their head. Like, that shit's got to be traumatizing.
Yeah,
yeah, it ain't like the movies.
But at the fucking at the same time, like, oh, not everybody's out there to shoot you, yo.
Yeah.
Like, most people just want to go home. Like, when you pull them over.
Just like you do.
Yeah.
Just like you do. Just leave me alone. Look, that's what I'm saying. Like, it's got to be difficult being a black person and being a cop. Like, you just doing a job. And this is the job that you chose, whether you love to be a cop or this is the only thing you could do. I don't know, and I'm not saying that as like a negative or anything, but there's also has to be a moment where you have to, like, do you throw away? Do some cops just throw? I won't say all, but do some black cops throw away like their blackness in order to work in that job? Because to me, I couldn't work in any job that I had to throw away my blackness to do the job properly. To me, then that's not the job for me. If I have to get rid of my culture and pretend basically and shut that part of my life off so I can go to work, then that's not the job for me.
All right.
So I don't know. I don't pretend to know what the answer to that is. Look, if we have cop listeners, that's fine. I mean, I'd love to hear from you. I'm sure we do. I'm sure there's somebody who is a cop that listens. And that's not, again, I don't think it's an indictment on police officers. I think they have a very important job and we need them. I just don't fuck with y'all like that. Like, I just don't.
Yeah.
Just don't. And that's been my personal experience. So I get it. So from there, just outside of the situation at Khalil's mother's house, Carlos tells Starr and Maverick that they're headed towards a grand jury and that they're going to want Starr to testify to see if they will or will not indict the police officer. And so she's a little afraid about that because her whole life has been keeping herself very segmented between her life at school versus her life at home. And right now, everybody knows about this kid being killed, but nobody realizes that she is the witness.
Yeah.
At least nobody at her school. So then we get a scene of her and Kenya hanging out, getting some barbecue in the neighborhood. And Kenya says that she knows that Starr is the witness because she saw her and Khalil leave together and she's been all jittery and shit after the shooting and everything else. And she's asking her, is she going to stand up for Khalil and speak out for him? You guys speaking out if you see your friend get murdered?
Yep.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah, fuck, nah. You're like,
even with the circumstances that he's going through, as far as him being a drug dealer, people getting threats when they become witnesses against cops and things like that?
Yeah, because look, if you were murdered, you've done some very questionable shit.
I knew he wasn't going to just say some reasonable shit.
I cannot abide having your name tarnished when you're not there. Like, questionable shit aside. Like, yeah, he makes fun of fat people, but that don't make him a bad person. Like, yeah, he's helped me steal things, but that don't make him a bad person.
That is not on the record. I don't know what you're talking about.
No, you have to, right? Like,
shout out to Kmart.
Terrence has said he hates white people, but that don't make him a racist.
I mean,
it does.
It do, but I'm still defend you.
But he's still a good person. So
I'll still defend you.
Yeah, I would still defend you.
But we saw episode 143. They'll be like, well, you right.
I would give a bunch of examples of how, white people be doing stupid shit. And then
turn on the television.
Right. And then
watch Facebook.
And then I would flip the shit around. Like, why aren't you racist against white people? Because look at all this shit.
Yeah. Why are all the white kids sitting at a lunch table together? That's what you're saying, right?
I'm snitching. Fuck that.
Yeah, I would.
Are we gonna get me killed? Like, you know who the fuck did it?
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Surprise. Yeah, I mean, the idea of not speaking out after seeing my friend be murdered in front of me is I can't fathom it. I really can't. Especially by a police officer.
Oh, nigga, I'm running. No, I'm running to every goddamn TV, radio station, anybody that's using Morse code, all that shit.
Call up Tom Joyner, get me on Rachel Maddow. I'm on all that shit.
All that shit, man.
That's right. Be on podcasts, just diming out cops and shit. Nobody's listening.
Only to have your critics say you're a fame whore, because that's what would happen.
Oh yeah, of course. But I'm not getting paid for this. Like, yeah, you just want to be famous. I really don't.
Like, I'd rather not be. Not for this.
Not for this.
This is not the way I'm.
Y'all niggas ain't listening to the podcast we've been doing for 17 years. That was the fame whore stuff. Yeah, so she's she's apprehensive for one huge reason, which is not wanting to bring that world into her school life. She's still a kid. She's 16. Okay. And by the way, we're talking about this as men in our late 30s.
Yeah.
There's a very different scenario. You're talking 22 years ago. Like, I don't know, man. That's really fucking scary. But who knows? I mean, I'd like to think that I could stand up and do that.
If for whatever reason I was apprehensive, I could easily be talked into it. Like, it just feels like the right thing to do.
It does. It does feel like the right thing to do. And because it is. I mean, it's not just that it feels that way. It's because it is. Right. Now, there is the part about mentioning the names of the drug dealers. Like,
yeah, you ain't do all that.
Like, I want to... He's a drug dealer. For who? I don't know.
I mean, I don't mind telling you, but, can we not do it on television?
Why don't you write that shit down? Yeah, I'm good. And Lisa, the mom, doesn't want Starr to testify or to give an interview just because she wants to protect her daughter. Makes total sense.
Yeah, I understand that too.
Absolutely. Starr begins to have some tough interactions with her white friends at school as her experiences with Khalil forces her to become more untethered to the idea of there being two people, two different stars, so to speak. So after Kenya realizes that Starr is the witness, King pulls up, Anthony Mackie, looking all intimidating, and he's like, "Get in the car." And they do, and he's like, "Look, I'm gonna drive you up to your father's store," and she's reluctant about it because King is obviously the biggest drug dealer in the fucking town, so she's like, "Nah, I'm not really trying to roll with you." And so he's like, "Look, you need to get in the car. I'll drive you up." So she does. And then he talks to her about like, "Look, you need to, keep all that shit in your rear view and like, don't snitch and all this other stuff." And so, because she didn't have a spray bottle of bleach to spray into Anthony Mackie's mouth, she reluctantly agrees. And so when arriving at Maverick's store, the two girls get out and Maverick gets into the car and basically King threatens him and he's like, "Look, you need to watch your daughter." And Maverick is like, "No, nigga, you need to watch your daughter and not be worried about my shit." And so they have this like kind of a tough guy off, but ultimately Maverick is like, "Just mind your fucking business. Star's going to be okay." But yeah, Lisa took that as a direct threat, which it obviously was. Then Lisa and Mav are having a conversation about Starr testifying. Lisa thinks that school life for Starr will become insane if they find out about it. And Maverick wants Starr to testify because it's the right thing to do ultimately. You encouraging your kid to do that at 16? Knowing that you're now the threat of this big drug dealer is a thing?
I don't know.
It's tough.
I don't know.
I don't know that I could put my kid through that.
No, I don't know.
They got a lot of drug dealers down where you are?
We're not too far from Wheaton. Wheaton is not. Look, we live in Montgomery County, but
ain't that like
Wheaton ain't the best.
Ain't that like MS-13 area?
Yeah, it's a little Puerto Rican-y over there.
This kid ain't gonna be like. Does this kid know Spanish? This kid's gonna know Spanish. Don't teach him.
We want to teach him French, but Spanish would probably be a little more practical.
Yeah, French. What the fuck?
French. That's in our roots, man. That's black people.
Okay. What? Because y'all like French cuisine?
Creole nigga? Like,
I mean,
this nigga just likes French fries. Get out of here.
I just like French.
He's like, "Look, son, it's in our blood.
English and French.
Look at these foods they pass down: French fries and French toast."
English and French are the two official languages of the UN. Spanish ain't nowhere near that.
We'll see about that in a couple of years.
Right.
They coming, nigga. Get the fuck out of here. We have a couple of ideas. That is a terrible Mexican accent. So they're really concerned about it. And look, Lisa and Maverick's perspective is really, I wouldn't say fucked up, but it's a fucked up situation because, you want your kid to have a semblance of a childhood, but also you want your kid to stand up for truth. And sometimes those things are not working together. And this is one of those cases. So right before the funeral for Khalil, Maverick and Starr have a talk. He is aware of the thug life meaning from the Tupac song because he is a man of our age. So, he was in fucking late high school, I guess. And he asked Starr to extrapolate her thoughts on what it means. And she talks about how it's not just about black people and it's not just about youth, but it's about poor, disenfranchised people everywhere, right? Which is the truth. And then so they have a conversation about the systems by which black people, specifically in their area, get pulled into the system. So I thought this was a really good conversation because he talks about how the reason why Khalil deals drugs is because there are no drugs in that, there are no jobs in that neighborhood, right? This is the way that they get out. And then people get locked up, and then that's another system by which, like a conveyor belt, black people are thrown into. But I was thinking about this because it's that whole idea of, extreme situations require generally extreme responses, right? Or in this case, my wife and I were talking about this last night. I'm trying to think of the word I used. But basically irrational. Like the situation is irrational, right? The fact that I often see white people say, well, why would you sell drugs to your own people and destroy your neighborhoods and all this stuff? That's an irrational thing. It doesn't make any sense, right? And even black people say that. Like, why are we trying to destroy our own self? But it's an irrational response to sell drugs and destroy your fellow man and everything else in your direct community because the situation is irrational. Why is it that black neighborhoods are flooded with drugs, like the father says, and we don't own private planes and we don't have the means of production and all this other shit? That is an irrational situation that black people and poor people in general are put into. Because you can see it in poor white areas too with opioids, right? Like, how the fuck are they affording these opioids that are super expensive? How are they fucking afford that? How do they afford heroin and all this other stuff? Because they're put into these irrational situations, and then they do irrational things to prostitution, drug dealing, fucking murder, scamming, all that other shit. They do irrational things. They even hurt themselves in order to try to get out of it. But, I mean, of course, you put people in shitty situations, they're going to respond shittily. The rational response is, I'm going to go to school. I'm going to get a reasonable job that makes $50,000 a year and be a good citizen and then raise kids. And then they will go to school and get reasonable jobs and maybe make a little bit more than me. And over generations, we will rationally move ourselves out of this situation. No, that takes too long. Fuck that. Play basketball, nigga. It's true. Why do black people concentrate on making it in the NFL or making it in the NBA? What's the chance of you making it professionally? Next to zero.
How many players are in the NBA? How many players are on a team? Like 12?
Right? So let's say on the bench
30 teams, 32 teams or something like that.
But let's say on the team in total that aren't playing all the time. Let's say it's 40.
No, there's not 40 people.
No, I know. I'm just saying, like, let's just say it's 40 people on a team. How many teams are there?
There's like 32 teams. I don't know.
Okay, so of all those people, you think you're going to make it on there?
There's less than 400 people in the NBA.
In the NBA, right. What's it in the NFL? Roughly,
there's like
52 players on a team times 30 teams. Or something
right.
Like
and
that.
that's people starting. That's not even a bunch of bench warmers that just said.
No, the 52 players is
period.
On a team.
Okay, so 52 players. But people are like banking their entire lives on making that.
All right. If you make it, you're probably number 49.
Right, you're barely going to get in there.
You know
right?
what I mean? Like,
yeah, you're not going from the ghetto to the quarterback like super easily.
No, you got to be a prodigy. Like, and that's it's not practical.
Right, but it is. Those are completely irrational thought processes. How to get ourselves out.
We tell people that all the time. Like, oh, you just do this, you can make it. You could be LeBron James. LeBron James is a freak of nature, yo.
Do you know he has an eidetic memory?
He's a freak of nature.
Yeah, no, I know. I didn't know. I didn't realize that.
I didn't realize that either. No.
Yeah, I was like, nigga, what? Yeah. Like, that's a photographic memory for people who don't know. Like, yeah. How many people are going to make that? So, like, I know it's lame and boring and shit. You know how you make it out of the hood? Go to school. Like, get a reasonable ass job. You don't have to try to become a millionaire. You just have to do enough that you can pull yourself out of the cycle, and hopefully you have kids that can pull themselves out of that you can avoid getting them in the cycle. And that's how you generationally get out of shit.
Yeah, but the issue is if you have shitty schools in your neighborhood.
That's right. How the fuck do you get out?
Yeah. All you can rely on is basketball.
Yeah.
It's fucked up.
Or drugs.
Or drugs. I mean, look, some people sell drugs enough to make enough money to start a record label, and then you become Jay-Z. But nigga, that is the...
Nigga, Jay-Z is like...
1 in a billion, dude.
Yeah, like Maul was like, yo, if you had told me... Like, he said he had a whole thing where he was like, yo, if you'd have told me there was a movie about a nigga that sold drugs, started rapping, and then all of a sudden he bought like a clothing line, married like one of the finest chicks on earth, and that was a billionaire. You'd have been like, yo, nigga, get the fuck out of my face.
This movie is on some bullshit. Like, we got superpowers too. The Iron Man movie. Yeah, I've seen it. Like,
did a nigga just discover what the Cinderella story is? Because that's what that shit sounds like.
That's what it is.
It's insane, man.
Yeah. Like, you look, as they say, you gotta give Hope the flowers. You have to. Like, you have to. What the fuck? What kind of story is that? He grew up in one of the worst ghettos in the entire country and was like, yeah, no big deal, I'm a billionaire. Like, nigga,
I'm a billionaire.
You crazy for this one. Like, come on, that's insane.
Yo, he's worth $900 million.
Yeah, that's insane.
What the fuck,
Stupid,
yo?
That's stupid. That's just stupid.
That's a stupid amount of money.
Like Puff, he's worth like $842 or something like that.
Yeah, and he's from regular means.
Where's he from? I forgot where he's from.
But I mean,
some place where they don't close their lips all the way.
Oh man, that's wild, man. It's insane. But yeah, like those are very, 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 very rare. That shit don't happen, you know.
I mean, literally, Jay-Z is a 1 in a billion story.
Yeah,
he is.
insane.
He's a 1 in a million story. And I mean, like, Diddy at least was like worked through like super low levels of music and then made it out.
Dancing in fucking videos back in the late 80s. He went to fucking college and all other shit. Like,
no, Jay-Z don't have a high school education, my nigga. Like, what the fuck?
Like, he was too smart for high school.
Yeah, he was.
Essentially.
Yeah, essentially he was.
And then couple that with the fact, right, like Jay-Z and Beyonce are a very unique couple because all that shit that has to go work for Jay-Z to be Jay-Z, all that other shit has to happen for Beyonce to be Beyonce.
Right.
And then them two have to meet.
Yeah.
Yo, look. Look. Right. It's not like she just started, like she grew up and she was already a billionaire.
Right. She was from Houston, yo. Like, she's from Houston. Nah, yo. Nah.
From Houston, Texas.
She got rid of that Houston accent.
No, she did not.
No, she still got that. She still got that Houston.
I guess when she does interviews, like the rare times, yeah, it comes out. But like when she's singing, it also like she fucking used it.
Yeah, that's fine. That's one thing. Like when British singers sing, they sound like the notes. They don't sound like look at Adele. Yeah. Adele is rolling in the deep, right? Then all of a sudden, oh my God, I can't believe I'm up here with Beyonce. Like, what the fuck?
Oh shit! Yeah, it's because she grew up listening to like fucking Anita Baker.
Right.
Dude, the first time I heard it, I was like, "Yo, who is this black woman singing?" Like, I didn't know. I hadn't seen a picture of her.
Yeah, and then the second time I heard Adele, I'm like, "Who the fuck is this trying to say that she's Adele?"
Yeah,
get the fuck out.
Yo, this white woman is a lot. She's stealing Adele's music. Like, you're stealing a black woman's music. See, that's how they always do. I'm like, no. Oh, it's me. It's me. I'm down, rolling in the deep.
Like, what the fuck? That's the name of my song, and now I'm sing it. And then all of a sudden, you hear Adele.
It's amazing.
Like,
what's her name is the same way. I don't know that I thought she was black, but I was like, yo, your voice does not match your normal speaking voice. Who's the chick that Amy Winehouse?
Amy Winehouse, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I thought Amy Winehouse was black. And then all of a sudden, like, what?
Yeah. I was like, who's this little crack whore? Oh, she was so talented.
She really was.
That was a goddamn shame.
I love Amy Winehouse.
She was good. Frank is a better album.
Yep, it sure is.
It is. Sorry, it is. So before going to the funeral for Khalil, they have that conversation. And again, it was very poignant. During the funeral, a speaker from Just Us for Justice, April O'Fray, which I can't help was like a weird Oprah Winfrey kind of name, played by Issa Rae, comes up to talk about how the cop likely won't be indicted, and how they're planning a peaceful protest right after the funeral. Was everybody as shocked to see Issa Rae in this movie as I was?
I forgot that she was in it because I seen the
didn't
trailer
know
for
she
this.
was in it.
I seen the trailer for this a long time ago, and I always wanted to see this movie, and I never gotten around to it. She's in the trailer.
She is?
Yeah, she's in the trailer for this movie, and at least the one I saw, I distinctly remember her being there because I think it was like the second season of Insecure had finished or something like that, and I'm like, oh, Issa doing it.
She's fucking everywhere.
And yeah, I totally forgot she was in this movie.
Yeah, I was like, what?
Yeah, I did the same thing. Like, oh, okay.
Like, she's not making a fool of herself. This is a very different Issa Rae.
Yeah.
She's always like such a goofball. So they have the protest right after a funeral, which my wife was like, a protest after a funeral, that doesn't seem like a good idea. People are pretty emotionally charged. Yeah, this is not the time to do that. Oh, are you really sad and angry? Cool, let's go deal with cops. Like, this is not a good idea. Some people get shot. Of course, the protest erupts into police violence, the police attacking citizens, and it's played all over the news later that evening. Well, at home, because Starr and her family got the fuck out of there because they were able to read the writing on the wall very quickly. Starr notices her white friend Haley, that bitch, isn't okay with her posting on Tumblr, which is definitely dead now without porn, about Black Lives Matter, especially about the deaths of innocent black people at the hands of white folks. The final image in the Tumblr post is that of Emmett Till at his funeral. And Haley responds to it something like, oh my God, are you serious? Or really? Like, dude, look,
bitch. Like,
look, but this break, you know, like Mike and I did an interview on a podcast called Unapologetically Black, which you guys should listen to. Not just our episode, but the podcast in general. And one of the questions the host asks is like, when did you discover that you were black? Meaning, not like, oh shit, like, you know,
not like a watermelon man. Like, all of a sudden you woke up black.
What the fuck? But
yeah, I listened to the episode.
Yeah, but like that idea of when did you realize you're like sort of black in the world, right? Like you get that pushback from somebody, and it's like, oh, okay, this is how they see us, and this to me, this is that wake up call that I think a lot of black kids get. When, like, if you start, like, as we grow up and then you start to deal with racial shit or see racial shit in the news and stuff like that, and you start to get a little bit more woke, you posting on your Tumblr or whatever it is you millennials do, on your YouTubes, and, like, you post shit like that, and your white friends are like, why are you so angry? What's the problem? And you're just like, the fuck you mean? What's my problem, nigga? What's your problem? You start getting like not irrationally mad, but you start getting really pissed at them because they don't.
Yeah, why don't you understand this?
Like this shit seems pretty logical to me,
right?
But because they're not in that world, they just don't generally get it.
I'll never understand that, man. I'll never understand not being able to understand somebody else's plight.
I don't either. I will say it seems to be a thing that is happening less. Like, I feel like millennials or post-millennials, or post-millennials, such a goofball. But I feel like white kids of that generation, like who that interact and live with, you know, around people of color, they're having less of that because I think they realize like they're growing up in a world and they're like, oh, okay, like this stuff is way more prominent. It's way more in your face that they can't just be like, everything's hunky-dory. Like nothing bad is happening. Like you can't. Like if you're a white kid who's 15 and you live in a fucking city and you have black friends, who the fuck doesn't know what Black Lives Matter is? You know what I mean? Like you can't unless, I don't know, unless you're a racist, you know, but like if just a normal, you know, normally neurotypical kid, I feel like you'd be hard pressed to just pretend like you didn't know that.
Yeah.
So for whatever that's worth. But yeah, so Haley is the worst type of white person, which is you can't empathize with someone who you call your friend. You can't empathize with their situation. April Ofra comes to Starr's house in the middle of the night when all the police brutality shit's going on after the protest. She comes to her asking her to do a television interview and speak out on Khalil's behalf. Starr relays a story about seeing her friend Natasha get killed and knowing who did it, and how she didn't say anything back then, and then she found out the guy who did it was killed later on, so she never said anything, she never spoke out, and now she wants to be a better friend to Khalil than she was to Natasha. Now keep in mind, when her friend Natasha died, she was like 10. So, yeah, I mean, I get it. And Khalil was there when Natasha got killed too, which is also important to know. Back at school, all the white kids are pretending to give a shit as an excuse to cut class.
This is why I don't like social media and hashtag activism and
this is exactly what that is addressing.
And this is it, because I don't believe you. I don't believe you. Now I guess I'm of two minds of it, like, because people need to be exposed to it. But sure. I don't believe that people are as sincere as they think. And I'm not saying you got to go out there and march every march and do this and do that. But some people ride a little too hard for all that hashtag activism.
This is easy.
And yeah, and I don't believe you. Everything about us seems disingenuous, and maybe that makes me too much of a cynic, but I don't trust 90% of the people that are doing this.
Wow.
I'm serious, yo.
90%.
I'm serious, yo. And depending on what the thing is, I don't trust trust certain people.
Yeah, no, I hear you. And I will say, like, I'm not super trustworthy of or super trusting of white people who ride super, super hard for it either. I want you to ride hard for it, but at the same time, I'm like,
I don't trust.
Yeah, I don't believe you.
I have a hard time believing you. No, that's true. Like, it all depends on the level of, like, no, I'm super woke. I'm like,
yeah, I have a big problem with people that are so woke. Not like the ultra ridiculous wokeness, but people.
No, those people are just hilarious.
Yeah, they're insane. But like people that are so woke that they can't admit that they had different thoughts prior to them being woke.
Yes, I know exactly.
Think that, like, people that are always they're always on the right side.
They're perma woke.
Yeah, and instantly, like, oh, this situation. Oh, this situation with, like, Kevin Hart. Okay, I'm automatic. Oh, that nigga's canceled. Or like trans issues or Black Lives Matter issues or whatever what have you.
You're perfect.
They're like, you never had any other thoughts except for this thought that you have today. I'm like, no, nigga, no, you didn't.
Right.
And then you're always trying to correct someone else. Like look, or you don't give someone a chance to change. Like if someone has a certain thought, and then you try to correct them, and then they're kind of leaning into you, like they're accepting your way, but then like 100%, like, well, you trash. Like, nigga, fuck you, yo. Yeah, like that shit drives me crazy, and that's basically what the internet is. Yeah, that's exactly what it is
online, and it's
purity. It's nonstop purity test.
Yeah,
that's all.
It shit drives me crazy.
Well, because it's not only that it's ridiculous, it's completely disingenuous.
Yeah, like you are essentially being the bully in the situation.
Yeah.
Like, you don't like bullies, but you're the bully in that situation. I'm like, no, that's foul.
You've lived long enough to see yourself become the villain.
It was so well written. The line is flawless. It's a flawless line.
But they don't think they're the villain.
By the way, is there a better written line in a movie in the last 15 years?
Honestly, I don't think so.
It's a perfect square.
Yeah.
There's only one entrance, there's no exit. It's just perfect.
And that's the thing about people like that, is that they swear they aren't, right? Because it makes them feel better. And I don't like that knee-jerk reaction to every little thing is I don't trust it.
You don't want to be in the minority.
Yeah.
You don't want to
That's a fascinating way of saying that.
Yeah, it's
the majority super accurate.
No, it is. I know. I'm just saying the way you phrase that is super fascinating to me.
Yeah, it's strange. Like, I mean, like we admit on our shows, we admit, like, yeah, we fuck up. We fucked up in the past.
Absolutely.
Some people don't do that.
Have you listened to the show?
Yeah, some people have a hard time doing that.
Yeah, I don't.
And I don't understand why that is.
Yeah, like to me, I am way more afraid in life of being labeled as a person who is disingenuous than a person who has grown.
Yeah.
Right? Because I know in the process of growth, you are compromised. You are on the wrong side of history. You are. Like, you just are. That's what growth is. Like, I'm not going to pretend that 16-year-old me is the same as 38-year-old me.
No.
Can you imagine me?
I was an ignorant ass nigga at 16. I was an ignorant ass nigga at 26.
Right, exactly. Like, what the fuck? Right. So, like, imagine, people are like, oh, I wouldn't want to be held to those standards. But, like, yeah, you say that, but you hold people to standards in the crux of them changing, which has never made sense to me. Right? Like, you can be wrong about something. I can vehemently disagree with you. But if I see that you're moving in the right direction, or if I go, you know what, fuck you on this right now, but in 6 months you're like, yeah, you know what, I was really fucked up. I'm not going to be like, nah, fuck you forever. Like, you got to let people move.
That's not what you said 6 months ago. Like,
yeah, I know.
That was 6 months ago.
You're right. Like, unless you did some really foul, like, unless you're like a fucking rapist or some shit, then nah, fuck you forever.
Yeah, nah.
But like, if it's just some views you have, like, nah, I'm gonna, unless you voted for Trump, you can suck my dick. But like, I can't.
I'm over here laughing.
I can't.
You reaping what you sow.
Yeah, like I lost my job at the factory. Well,
I can't abide by that because that nigga was spewing racist shenanigans for the last 2 or 3 years.
But look, the least you can do is go, I was wrong.
I fucked up.
That's to me. Look, that don't mean I'm ready to forgive you.
Yeah.
Like I'm not. My 401k isn't. but like at the same time, that at least shows that you have what adults have, which is a perception of yourself and be able to look at yourself and go, I am not perfect. Let me try to better myself.
Yeah.
If you cannot do that, or you cannot admit that you do that, that says a lot to me. I will never understand it. And to your point, like this idea of like, you've always been on the right side of issues.
No,
you haven't.
You haven't. Like, stop lying.
You know how I know you haven't? Because society hasn't been. And you lived in that society. What the fuck? No, I've always been cool with gay folks. Don't lie. You ain't never said it. You never called a gay person a fag to their face or behind their back, or said gay in a derisive way, not even to a gay person, but yo, that's mad gay. Yes, you have.
Yeah.
Nigga, you live in Maryland or DC? Yes, you have. Get the fuck out of here, you know?
Yeah.
Yes, you have. Like, and look, we all did that shit. Like, we're all not perfect. We all try to, you grow up and you go, yeah, okay, that's unacceptable. And you move on. That's it. Yeah, look, here's a spoiler alert. When I was young, I used to call the fucking corner store the chink store. Is it acceptable? It's not. It's not. It's not. It's not. It's not. It's not acceptable. I mean, look, shit's funny. But like, we did shit like that. Like, we did. Did you guys never do that?
I never called it the chink store. No,
yeah, so you lying.
I called it the corner store.
The what store?
The corner store.
Yeah, you grew up in Pikesville.
Yeah. I grew up in Pikesville.
Terrence. Terrence.
I'm trying to think because I had. No, I don't think so. Like, I'm dead ass serious.
Oh, so I'm the racist here?
Yeah, I think you might be the racist in this particular situation.
Damn, I put myself out there.
like I can't. Like, I legitimately cannot remember a time when I called it like the chick.
Right. Terrence is from New York. He called them bodegas.
That is true. Yeah, but like, that was a thing in Baltimore. It was.
Yeah, the chinks.
It's so fucking funny. It was run by Asians.
No. Right. Again, my friend, he had a store. He had a fucking Korean store.
Of course he did.
Yeah, because
right?
he moved here. And
that's the only job they can get.
Yeah.
Like, you got that. You got to run a dry cleaner, nail shop.
Or nail shop, yeah.
Like, I don't want to run a nail shop. That's racist. Well, corner store it is. All right, I'm sorry.
On the fucking corner, 33rd and whatever the fuck that shit is.
Oh, that was a little rough over there. I used to live over there. I know. So yeah, but those are things I did when I was a kid, and it is widely unacceptable, and I would never fucking say shit like that.
Yeah, it's fucked up. But you grow
except
up.
for 2 minutes ago. But
yeah,
but you grow the fuck up. So like you don't have to try to be this like really weird, rigid, I'm always correct persona. It's bullshit
because you're lying.
Yeah, you're lying. And I just, I don't like talking to people like that. I don't like when people do that. Oh, you aren't as woke as I am? No, I'm not, man. I'm an adult and I grow and change. Sorry. I know it's weird. I'm glad that you're a perfect being. That's great.
Yeah, that should drive me crazy.
Yeah, go to Vegas.
I'm probably more woke than people that actually say they are. Because if you got to keep saying it.
You know.
But y'all always say, like, when I say I'm the nice one, I am. But.
What was that? No. Finish that.
No, finish up.
Bullshit. If you have to keep saying it, it's probably bullshit. I don't have to keep saying it, but I say it anyway. So fuck off.
That's fair.
But I don't believe you. Like, I just don't. Like, if you got to keep saying, you got to prove how woke you are. No, fuck off.
You just shouldn't have to.
You're lying.
Yeah,
like, get out of here.
Or you feel very insecure about it.
Yeah.
Which is probably the bigger point. So yeah, the hashtag activism is addressed in these kids like, oh, we're really upset about Khaled? DJ Khaled?
They're right.
Khalil?
Yeah, but I'd rather do this because I don't want to take a chem test. Like, all right.
We're fucking like that. Yeah, that's when I saw them, like, yo, that's fucked up.
That's
but it's 100% accurate.
Oh, without a doubt. So the kids are all like, yeah, no, it's cool. So they leave and they walk out of the school, and Haley goes up to Starr and she's like, yeah, we gotta take off and this is gonna be awesome. There's kids holding Black Lives Matter signs and acting like they give a shit. And Starr's like, yo, this isn't right. Like, this is fucked up. And her response is absolutely correct. And Haley says, by the way, they couldn't have picked a whiter name. Haley, probably sister of Braden, Caden, or Raiden, or whatever. She's like, yeah, who's gonna speak up for our people, girl? And yo, Starr's response is real as fuck. She was like, our people, like, bitch, I'll knock you out around here. And so yeah, because Haley does the thing that white girls who want to be down do, which is pretend that they actually give a fuck about black people as if they're their own people. They're not.
Bitch.
I fucking can't stand this person. So Starr is like it is a slow boil to what is about to boil over in their relationship between her and Haley. Meanwhile, she runs into Chris, and Chris is like, hey, did you know that kid who got killed and everything else? Are you okay? And she's just like, she just puts her head on and her hood on. She's like, yo, I gotta go. I'm out. And so she just walks away from him. She calls somebody to come pick her up. It turns out it's her Uncle Carlos. And so he comes and picks her up and he's like, all right. He drops her off at her mom's job. Her mom is a nurse. So her mom is like not trying to hear a bunch of bullshit. And she's like, oh, so a bunch of privileged white kids skipping class. Are you going to skip class? Like, even though all this shit's going on, like, she's still a black ass mom. Like, yeah, she's like, nah.
What the fuck? Yo, I just watched my friend get shot.
I like how she's like, I'm really worried about these things. You ain't got time to be worried about that. You got time to be worried about them grades. It's like, I know, but like, damn. Like, come on, mom. And so she talks to her about how she was really offended that the kids were faking like they cared about Khalil. And, you know, that breaks through Lisa's black mama shield. She's like, all right. And she's like, look, I got to speak up for Khalil. So they agree to let her do the interview on television, but they are going to muffle her voice and change her appearance, or, you know, blur her appearance so that nobody knows that she's doing it, so she can stay anonymous. She goes and she does the interview with a white woman they built in a factory. Yo, she's just super creepy looking to me. She looks just like a doll. And they're asking her all about Khalil's past and everything else. And this is where Starr says, oh, well, he was a drug dealer. And he worked for the King Lords. And that's where she fucked up. Wouldn't have mentioned the gang. Wouldn't have done that. But that's just me.
Yeah.
That's just how I roll. Later on, they're at a restaurant, the whole family, and Anthony Mackie and a couple of dudes way bigger than him are standing outside to look intimidating. So Mav goes out there and he's basically like, what the fuck? The fuck y'all doing out here? And he rolls right up on Anthony Mackie and he pushes Anthony Mackie right into a truck, which, yeah, because he's small. There's a level of disrespect. And so at that point, Anthony Mackie and his boys, they drive off and the police pull up and the police start harassing Maverick. They slam him up against the window in front of his family and just disrespect him and everything else. This is funny to you, Micah?
No, the overt symbolism, the staging of this shot is just funny to me. Like,
look at what happened to your father.
Yeah, like they have the perfect view of this injustice that is happening
through a clear glass window. Right.
It's like, this is mighty convenient.
Yeah. Like, you don't have to slam me against the window. Oh, but I think we do. And the kids come rushing out, and the cops are, fucking with him and everything else. He didn't have his wallet on him. His wife was holding his wallet, so she brings it out to him and all this other stuff. Here's a little bit of advice, black men: don't go anywhere without your wallet.
That's true.
Yeah,
not everyone.
Keep your ID with you at all times.
At all times. I don't even walk the dog, nigga, without my wallet.
Right.
I don't.
I did that shit once. My wife chewed my ass out. She was like, "What are you doing? Running without your wallet, or at least your ID?" I'm like, "Oh, I just forgot it." Well, you don't forget it again. I was like, "Oh, I mean,
that's funny from her."
I know you're right.
Sorry, Ma.
I apologize. It was like, "I'm gonna get you a new armband so you can put it in
my
there."
goddamn, all right.
And she makes sure that I have it every time. Every time I go jogging or whatever.
Isn't that a weird? That's a weird thing. Like, what's white privilege? The fact that you don't have to think about that. Yep. That's the difference. Like, I remember. Like, my wife and I had a really interesting conversation. She was not yelling at me. But we had an interesting conversation about that, like maybe a year ago, because somebody that she knew, a guy, a white dude, had posted on Facebook like, "Oh, I forgot my wallet when I went like running or some shit like that," or like not driving somewhere, but like just went out somewhere, like walking somewhere. Mm-hmm. And I didn't have my wallet and I needed it for X, Y, and Z. And she was like, "Oh, that's just kind of funny." It was like kind of a funny story. And I was like, that would never happen to me. It could never happen to me. It wouldn't. She was like, "What the hell are you talking about?" I was like, "I never leave the house without my wallet.
Nope.
Not ever."
My parents told me that shit. My mother told me that shit.
That's why your wife yelled at you. Like,
yep, that's exactly.
A black woman already told you, nigga. I gotta tell you.
That's exactly.
I'm only gonna raise one son. Get the fuck out of here. Get your wallet. Yeah, you got to. Yep. Like, but that's a part of the talk. That's part of the black talk. Like, you have your ID with you all the time. I live in this neighborhood, and I'm like, no, I'm not going around. Look, if I got on sweatpants, guess what? One pocket is bulging out with my fucking wallet. Just It is what it is. Not walking my dog. I don't take my keys. Like, I don't even have to take my keys, but I will take my wallet. Mm-hmm. Like, fuck that. I'm not walking anywhere without my wallet. I don't care if I'm driving or not. Doesn't matter. But you have to have that ID on you. So, like, my wife ain't holding my wallet. No. And if she is holding my wallet for some reason, give me my ID and I will put it in my pants that are clearly too tight, which is why I don't have a wallet. Yeah. Like, that's the only reason. So they harass and harangue the family and all this other shit. They start asking for the young son's ID, and the mom comes in. She was like, "He's in school. What, you want his fucking library card? Get the fuck out of here." And so Starr starts filming the interaction on her phone, and they tell her to put the phone down, and she disobeys and says, "I have a right to do it." So she doesn't do what she was told to do by the previous cop.
Yeah, and look, this thing is literally a lifesaver. Like, I would take my phone. I remembered my phone before I remembered my ID. Because you need to be able to just be like, swipe up, camera, ready.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
absolutely. Look,
what a fucking world we live in.
I mean, people are like, "Oh, is police violence against black people increasing?" No, this is because we have fucking 4K video cameras in our pockets all the time. That's why. And sometimes that don't even help. Look at, Philando Castile. That dude was fucking shot on video, and they're just like, I don't know. Maybe he did it. Take out your wallet. Here's your wallet. Bam. What the fuck? You have a gun? Yes. What are you doing with the weapon? Nigga, you just asked me that 2 fucking minutes ago. Like, yeah, sometimes it doesn't help. But I think it helps more often than it hurts. So, and look, you got to know whatever state you live in, you got to know your rights. Can you film the cops? Make sure you know. So,
and I like how they had a black cop in the section in the scene too.
Yeah, it's important.
A white cop and a black cop, because it doesn't matter. Like we said earlier, no matter what the fuck color the cop is.
Again,
cop.
I don't fuck with y'all like that. Thank you for your service, but I'm good.
Yeah, I'm right there with you.
Yeah, that guy also looked like a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle. Just as an aside. He did. He
looked like the nigga from Stargate.
Yeah, he kind of does. That nigga looks like a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle. Like, he's got like the new Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles that have the lips. Right? Yeah. I'm just saying. This guy looks like a mutant turtle. No big deal. So from there, look, I don't even want to talk about this scene.
Oh, is this the scene?
Nigga, every time, dog. Every fucking time. They leave the restaurant. The cop realizes that Starr is the witness to the previous shooting of Khalil. And so they're like, hey, there are people taping this. Otherwise, we beat the shit out of these black people, but we got to go. I was like, that's your reasoning? What the fuck? Like, because they immediately walked up to him, by the way, and they were like, oh, what are you doing out here? He was like, having dinner with my family. They're like, then you came outside the cop? And it was like,
what?
No, nigga, what? Also, if you thought that I was trying to cop drugs, why didn't you go after the guys with the drugs that just drove off? They weren't in a fucking Ferrari, nigga. They were in a BMW. What the fuck? Cops, you stink. That's just terrible policing. It just really is. You don't go after the crackhead. You go after the dealer, dum-dum. That's how we get Skeletors. Like, we know this. So they get back to the house. They're sitting in the truck, and Starr's like, look, I'm sorry, Daddy. I should have never said anything. I shouldn't have done. This is my fault. I should have never done the interview. Should have never gone on TV. I should have stayed quiet. This is the moment where Russell Hornsby is like, what's the script say? Nah, ball that shit up. I got this. I'm going Black Father all the way. And he was just like, everybody get out of the car and line up on the grass. Now, like, when I saw this movie the first time, I'm like, the fuck is going on here? And then he proceeds to deliver what I think is one of the best Black Father speeches, period, in movie history. He truly does. And he makes these 3 kids recite part of the Black Panthers program, like number 7, I think. And he says, point 7 of the 10-point program, say it. And he says at the Starr, and she says, well, she's crying, and he says, stop crying and say it. Yeah. Like, this is on some serious Black Father shit. Nigga, you're going to have to do this.
You think I'm not taking notes from this movie?
You're going to have to yell at your kid in the middle of the yard at 12 o'clock at night, talk about recite this shit.
Man, you
recite the Green Lantern anthem. Like,
you out your goddamn mind if you think I'm not taking pointers from I'm not gonna raise my kid based off of a movie, but yeah, I'm taking pointers.
Yeah, don't do that.
Absolutely am.
Like, I mean, he's delivering some Black Father fucking real shit. And so she says, the seventh point is we want an immediate end to police brutality. And then he has 7 finish, and he says, in the murder of Black people and people of color and oppressed people. And then she finishes the rest and says, by any means necessary. And then he says it again, and then she says it again. And then he basically goes on. He's like, look, I named you your names for a reason. 7 means perfection. Starr means light. And Sakani means joy. And he basically says, I didn't name you that so that you could be quiet. Never use your voice. And what bothers me or gets me a little stirred up, not gonna lie, what fucking hits me is that he is so furious that his daughter is being intimidated and being made or being trying to be kept quiet in this situation that he's fucking crying and he's like, you use your voice and you never let anybody silence you. And every fucking time, my emotion just like, oh, a real black father. I wonder what that would have been like growing up. It's
God
true.
damn it.
But no, it gets to me emotionally every single fucking time. Every time. And he delivers those lines so fucking well. And I mean, look, there's a lot to be said there about his performance and their performance and like just that dialogue is really fucking excellent. But what really makes it stick is that this guy has been like this super solid fucking character, because then he fucking rips his shirt off and he's like, what does this tattoo say? And it's like, reasons to live, reasons to die. And he's like, you and your brothers and your mother are my reasons for living and for dying. And he was like, I didn't raise you to be fucking weak. And look, I didn't have a good example as a black father when I was young. I mean, my stepdad is a great example as I was older. But what I will say is, like, the part that hits me is that, like, I didn't raise you to be quiet. That's what my mom told me. Like, fuck that. You use your fucking voice. And now I'm a blabbermouth. But it is what it is, right? And like, my mom used to say to me all the time, like, it was just like a common refrain. Like, don't be quiet. You weren't raised by white folks. Like, that's a thing she always used to say to me. Like, you weren't raised by white people? What you being quiet for? Let's be loud. Like, that's just who we are. That's people. So, I don't know. Like, that to me, I thought was like the fucking pinnacle scene. So, you are forced to raise your son by yelling at him in the yard to no Black Panther points.
Oh, I can't wait to start yelling at my kid.
Is that what you got out of this? But what do you think about this scene?
It is, I was joking earlier, but like not really, because while I did have a father figure in the house, he was a very, very good provider, but we didn't do shit together until very later in life. And, mostly because he was working to provide. Right. And, but I absolutely love this scene, and it is, I agree with the sentiment, right? Like, I'm not a person that is confrontational. I'll give you my opinion, but I'm not the type of person that's going to be the first in line, right?
Right.
His mother is. And that is something that I think he will probably get from her. I want to teach him how to think. Like, that's
just a funny way of saying it.
I mean, not that she doesn't think,
right? No, I know.
You know what I mean? Like, to you need to know how to evaluate different circumstances,
Sure.
right? Like, I think that it's lost in our society now that people are very knee jerk, and I understand. I completely understand you wanting to use your voice, but you can't be aimless while doing it, right?
Can't be loud and wrong.
Right. I want to make sure that his mother is inevitably going to stress being loud, and I want to channel that to where it needs to be.
You want a laser instead of a spreader in contrast.
Yeah. You don't necessarily. There's a time for a shotgun and there's a time for a railgun. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, absolutely.
And my job is to teach him to know the difference, when to use what thing.
Yeah, no, that's a good point. What about you?
Yeah, the scene. I don't know how emotional I got during the scene, because I've had instances where my father, he would like give me, like, he actually lectured me to the point where I couldn't stand him.
Yeah, well, he knew what he was doing.
Yeah, but like, as I got older, I understood why he constantly gave me like these lessons in life, because he knew what the fuck he was talking about.
Right.
So,
my father does that now. Like,
nigga, I'm old now. God,
I don't need it now. Nigga, like,
I'm 40, yo.
but yeah, he would always.
nigga, I made all those mistakes. All of them.
But yeah, he would give me the lectures. I still fucked up, but then I would like every time I fucked up, like I would think back to a lecture he gave me. Like that nigga was right. Shit. So he did know what he was talking about, but he wasn't. It was never necessarily like yelling. Sometimes it was yelling because I fucked up big time. But like most of the time, it was just like him just sitting me at the table, and he would talk to me for like 2 hours, and I'd be like, "Yo, I want to blow my brains out." Yeah, come on, bro. But at the end of the day, he was just instilling in me certain qualities that I like to think that I have now, like compassion, but like. I didn't necessarily get the talk, but he always did tell me to speak my mind. And I still do have trouble with that because I'm just like innately shy.
Right.
Like I'm not a talker. So like that's one thing. Like I'm not, like you said, I'm not going to be the first in line.
Right.
I'm just not. It's just not my personality. But I will give you my opinion if you ask for it.
Right. No matter what it is, like you better make sure you're ready for it.
Right.
Terrence, what do you think of this?
So like this black fatherhood. Yeah, that's it. Like, I mean,
what's the last movie that you've seen a black father like this?
Fences.
And even then, this guy's better.
No, I'm just talking about this nigga in Fences. Like, he was just in the movie. No, the advice Denzel Washington was giving was terrible. Yeah. I don't like you. Like, God damn.
I ain't got to like you. Like, Jesus, nigga. Like, what the fuck, bro?
Like, that's a weird way of trying to teach me responsibility. It's like, I had a oops a baby, and now I have to take care of you because I'm obligated to.
Yeah,
that's my penance for not putting a rubber on. Yeah. That's my penance for plowing a hole into forever.
Fool in your belly, like, all right, nigga.
You really ain't shit. Like you were
terrible fault.
Yeah, he really was. You are an awful, awful dad. Yeah. So.
Maybe Into the Spider-Verse. I just saw that.
Yeah, you know what? Maybe.
Yeah. That was a good black father, a couple of black father moments in that.
Yeah.
See? Even animated can have a good point. So, next up, when hanging with her two white friends, Starr and Haley have an interaction when Haley basically says all lives matter when talking about the cop.
She don't basically say it. She says that shit.
Yeah. She was like, oh, is it wrong? You can tell me it's wrong. Like, the thing is, I often think that the arguments about the Black Lives Matter, all lives matter, like back and forth, I think often the arguments are made on such
a superficial level,
such poor bullshit arguments, right? Yeah. Where it'll be like, well, I do think that all lives do matter. No, you can't, like that. It only works as a shitty defensive mechanism when someone says, "Oh, I think Black Lives Matter," where you go, "No, all lives matter." If somebody's like, "Yeah, I actually think that all people do in fact matter," all does in fact include us, right? It depends on whether you're using context matters, which is what drives me crazy. Is that white people on one end will say it and never realize the context because they're just not paying attention, walking around with their fucking head in the clouds, and then people who realize what the context is, people of color, and they mean one or the other, but then you just pretend like you don't know. Right. Come on, man. Like, you can pull somebody up and go, that's actually not the right thing without just dismissing everything. Like, there's a possibility to have a conversation like adults. Like, that's the thing that drives me crazy. But if somebody goes, Black Lives Matter, we gotta fix these things. Don't respond with all lives matter or blue lives matter. You're just a dick. Right, you're just an asshole. But if somebody's like, yeah, I think we should all come together, don't be like, we shouldn't all come together. What do you want? What do you actually want? Do you just want people to just all be segmented? And then so that somehow your Twitter feed is fucking rocking? I don't understand what you want. Like, it's weird, like, people are more invested in their own social capital than, like, progression in society. They would rather society continue to regress and to push that narrative than to just be like, oh, okay, well, I don't have as many retweets over the things that I say. Like, it's fucking weird to me. So no, her friend is a fucking dickhead. Like that. Like that's the point. Is like her friend is not making a salient point. Her friend is making the all lives matter as a combative response to Black Lives Matter. Which, again, just walk into traffic. Please, just walk into traffic. The world doesn't need you anymore. So then that's just about, they're right at the boiling point of their relationship. And Haley says, I unfollowed your Tumblr because they don't have porn on there anymore. So what's the point? Which is my point. But no, she said, I unfollowed your Tumblr because, I just don't know you anymore. Which goes back to what we were talking about earlier, which is why kids who don't understand when, especially black kids, start to wake up to the world. And they don't understand them because, I'm sorry, I'm not as oblivious to the world as you are anymore. I can't afford to be because I have to make sure I have my wallet with me wherever we go. Like, the world is different. So then we see the kids at prom. Chris shows back up realizing that Starr was the person in the interview. He confronts her and was like, this is clearly you? Like, what the fuck? Like, I've kissed your face. I know what you look like. And he begins to sort of listen to her as she's explaining, like, this is what's going on, and he was my friend and everything else. And notice she didn't mention that she kissed him. I'm just saying. Thought that was a little shady, but whatever.
He did now.
Yeah, she's like, I kissed him. But he did, though. He did. It's just me and you now. And you're fine.
You want to know a bit of trivia about this character?
Chris or Starr?
Chris. This actor was not the original choice. The original choice was a guy named Kian Lawley, and they had to recast him mid-shooting because this motherfucker went on YouTube and said some racist shit.
Jesus Christ. What did he say?
He said the N-word a couple times.
What the fuck?
And other racial slurs. This is from an article from Variety.com.
He said the C-store, didn't he?
He is quoted as saying, we're all black, drinking purple Kool-Aid and eating Kentucky Fried motherfucking chicken. And they have the link.
Yo, that's funny.
They have the link to the whole thing. I found that amusing.
That's really funny. Yo, did he read the script for this movie? He was like, nah, I'll just do it. Like, nah, but this one is.
Then he gave some half-assed apology, like, oh, I know my words mean power. I accept it and I own it. Fuck off, you dumb nigga.
You're a dumb fool, man. Like, what the fuck were you doing? What an idiot. What a fucking idiot. Jesus Christ. Oh, why'd you lose that job? Where you were going to be?
Some nigger.
Some nigga ruined my chance of being in a movie with another nigga. That's really unfortunate. Like, yeah, well, good job. Good. Well, this kid was fine. Lord. He was great.
Oh, YouTube took it down because the guy's friend claimed a copyright claim on it.
Just trying to help your boy out. Fuck out of here. That's funny. And I like that they were like his friends. Like, they even found out who it was. Like, nice try, asshole. So yeah, they're in the limo, and Chris does the white guy thing that he thinks is a helpful comment. Look, I don't even see color.
I was like, yo, shut up, nigga.
I don't see color. He was like,
I'm so glad she well, then you don't see me then, nigga.
That's a great response.
Yep.
That's a great response. And you don't see me. Look, man, people who say like they don't see color, Look, I get on the face. This is one of those mental gymnastics things that because you're not really thinking about it, that you think it's some like really clever thing to say. It's not. Because what you're saying is that your race doesn't matter. And that in order for me to treat you equally, I have to not see who you are.
Yeah,
right.
It doesn't, I don't see color anyway. Really? Really? If I robbed you right now, what would you tell the police? Yeah, it's a black guy. I don't know. Blah people. Like, no. I think that nigga was black. Like, what the fuck? Yes, you do see color. Don't sit there and lie. This is one of those things where you're just lying to try to pretend that you're like perfect.
Crazy. I always say if you say you don't see color, you're either lying or a racist.
Yeah,
you're either lying or colorblind.
Right.
Because it doesn't make any goddamn
Not even colorblind. Blind. Just blind.
Colorblind people seeing black, white, and gray. Like, you know.
This guy seems to be a darker shade of gray than this guy.
Right.
No, you better be blind. And also poor at like voice recognition shit. I don't know. It sounds like a old black woman from the South. Let's play a game. So yeah, it's I don't know. Like I was glad she pushed back like relatively quick on that. I was like, no, you don't see color, you don't see me. And he was like, oh, right. If I ever want to see you naked, I got it. You know what? I'm on board. I'm woke now. It is amazing. Because all these other white pasty bitches ain't trying to, holler at a boy. So then her brother immediately comes and ruins it. He's like, y'all better not be doing nothing in that limo. Just like a young brother would. So then Chris brings Starr and Seven back home in the limo, and they meet Maverick.
Yo, this was a funny ass scene.
Oh, it was absolutely hilarious. As the kids are walking in, they do a little "Are you black enough?" test before going in. That shit was funny. He was like, "Pumpkin pie." Seven is asking Chris. He's like, "Pumpkin pie or sweet potato pie?" And he's like, "Sweet potato pie." And Star's like, "Yeah, you got one." He's like, "That's my boo. Like, he got this. Like, he gonna be fine." It was like macaroni and cheese, full meal or side dish, and he was like, full meal.
Yo, who the fuck? What is your cholesterol at that you are eating mac and cheese as a standalone meal?
Because it's like Kraft mac and cheese.
Yeah, because he was like, it's a whole meal. It comes out of a box with breadcrumbs on it. They were like, what the fuck? One, no, you don't.
Everything about that was just offensive.
Yeah, like this is worse than the cops. Like that comment about macaroni and cheese and then Khalil's murder is directly under as the most offensive things in this movie. So they're like, nah, nigga, you gonna fail this. And I like Seven, he was like, y'all both dead. Good luck. And so they go in and Maverick thinks that Chris is the chauffeur and he was like, oh, here's a tip. And he was like, what?
He's like, I'm Chris. Oh.
He came in, he was like,
yo, the look on his face the whole time. He's like, with that fucking Kevin Hart.
This is what we do.
Knew he was white. Y'all ain't tell me. All right.
I love it. He was like, even the little kid knew. Like, what the fuck? Nobody told me. So then Chris leaves. It was a funny scene. It was a nice light scene. But he said something to Maverick said something to Starr after Chris leaves that I think is a very, very common thing. I have seen it a number of times, and I am so glad that the movie addresses it. Which was, oh, I guess I wasn't a good example as a black man to you. That's why you're with this white dude. And she's like, no, you are a good example of a man. Like, it's not about like that he has to look like you. It's about who you are as a person. And I hear that often from people about interracial couples. Why wouldn't you want to be with somebody who looks like your mother? Which I'm like, that's creepy. That's a creepy turn of phrase, by the way. But it's like, no, you generally gravitate towards somebody who is similar in personality to your parents, right? Because your parents are the prototype for what you generally see as a healthy relationship, if it was a healthy relationship, or even if it wasn't. That's what you see as a healthy relationship. So it's like, yeah, she was like, no, it's because you showed me what a good man is. And he was like, okay. Now get off your hotep shit for a second and just relax. Fucking relax. Like, my wife is so similar to my mother. Like, it's fucking terrifying.
Yeah.
Like this is unacceptable.
Yeah.
Yeah, they just are. And your wife is very similar to your mom, I think.
Yeah, she is. They both chewed my ass out for forgetting my ID. Like, I just forgot it.
I'm sorry.
I'm not going out there intentionally like, oh, here's my ID. Better leave that here. Wouldn't want it weighing me down as I'm sprinting. Fuck out of here. No, I just forgot it. But yeah, they're very similar. To the point where they both get on my damn nerves sometimes.
Ding, 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 ding. Yes.
But, that's what it is, man.
What was that meme I saw? I was like, do you ever think a woman ever sits back and looks at her man and go, damn, I'm getting on his nerves. I'm getting on his goddamn nerves. It's like, nope, I never think about it.
That's just funny.
But you should. Anyway, so immediately this light moment is interrupted by gunfire coming through the window, and you find out it was the King's Lords who shot at the house. Luckily, no one was shot. Maverick and Lisa immediately take their kids over to Uncle Carlos's house and in the nicer part of town, and they stay there. And then Maverick and Seven go back to the house to defend it.
What kind of salary are these cops getting that this nigga is living in Roland Park?
This is how, and I don't know this, but this is solely my guess. You can look it up on Wikipedia. You got Wikipedia right there. My guess is this movie was filmed in Atlanta because, that house cost $135,000.
My first, literally, I was in the theater. I think I went to see it with TR. I was like, what the fuck does this nigga's wife do?
Right.
Is she a surgeon?
Because no, you're not living in this house unless you're like a fucking like a chief of police.
That house was enormous.
You not living in a house as big, yeah.
Where was it filmed?
Principal photography on the film began on September 12th, 2017 in Atlanta.
What did I say? What did I fucking say? And I did not know that. I swear to God. No, that's the first thing I thought. I was like, that house is enormous. Like, yeah. No, that house is definitely done. It's in Atlanta, of course.
Fucking huge.
That house is $150,000. $300,000 max.
Oh shit!
I guarantee you that house,
two garage ports.
Yeah,
like come on, yo.
I guarantee that house costs less than my house. I guarantee it does. Ridiculous.
So big.
It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. You just have to live in Atlanta.
Yeah, I'm not willing to risk that.
No, that's why I live here. I'm not living anywhere further south than here. This is close enough. Because everything south, government just gets more fucked up as you go further down. No thanks. So Carlos has a conversation with Starr about police shootings, and he basically gives the most cop answer of all time. Like, look, nigga, sometimes you gotta shoot a nigga. Like, it is what it is. And I wrote, you can see this, and I wrote, "Fuck you, Uncle Los, bitch ass nigga." These are my notes. Like, I don't know why I write these things now because no one else sees them. I don't print them out.
I know why you do it. Just to remember to talk about it. Just to remember to say, "Fuck you, Uncle Los, you bitch ass nigga."
Like sometimes you gotta say that shit. So then Starr testifies in front of the grand jury, tells them everything. Back at school, Haley asks Starr when she's just going to, quote, get over it. Starr flips the fuck out and calls Haley out for her bigotry.
Yo, this was like watching Joe Louis beat up that Nazi for me, man. I fucking loved it.
Oh, no, this was... what did I write? I wrote another little note to myself. Starr flips out and calls Haley out for bigotry. She then uses a hairbrush to mimic what happened to Khalil, thus terrifying Haley and causing her to cry. This was beautiful because fuck Haley.
Yo, fuck this bitch, yo.
That's one of my favorite scenes. If not my favorite scene.
Like, when I say that I don't...
Did you get all emotional?
I think I cried a little bit.
When I say I don't like white women, this is what I mean. Like, Haley is the type of white woman that just gets on my goddamn nerves.
They literally found a girl who looks irritating.
Yes.
Shit. Yeah, she does.
Yes.
Yeah.
Everything about her, from her porn star looking face to the fact that she's blonde, but not even a natural blonde, like chooses to be blonde, which if you're a blonde white woman, just don't come near me. I don't like you, and I don't want to fucking talk to you. Yo, I was hoping she would stomp her ass. Oh my God, I was ready. I was amped. This is what I'm talking about when I say I don't like white women, yo. I don't trust white women. I don't, because they two-faced. And look,
I don't like her face.
Skipping to the end real quick. I love that they aren't friends anymore.
Oh no, 100%.
Yeah. Oh fuck yes! That was the crowning moment. This was the Statue of Liberty busting open that thing in Ghostbusters 2. Like, I was like, yes! Fuck that bitch!
Wow.
Don't like it, yo.
She was a pain in the ass.
By the way, shout out to the casting director. They nailed it.
Yep.
They nailed it. They fucking nailed it. They were like...
Nailed it. You know who she looks like? She looks like a young Ivanka Trump.
She does. Well, like, post-surgery, because Ivanka Trump does.
Yeah, because she looked more like Eric when she was younger. And that's not me being a dickhead. Like, no, yo. She looked like Eric.
No, she got her whole head cut off and got a new one. Yeah, with her ugly porn star pretty face. Yeah. No, she also looks like in this scene, she's got that. Look, if you're gonna dye your hair blonde, dye your eyebrows.
Like, do it, yo.
Dye your eyebrows. Don't like the big dark eyebrows with the blonde hair. You know what? You look like that creepy woman who was playing the fucking snake chick in Suicide Squad. You look like a weirdo. like you just look like a weirdo. Like I wanted so bad for Starr to just uppercut her because like the way that the camera is angled, like it's a perfect like bow, and they would just like slow it down as she got hit. It would have been amazing.
Fuck yeah.
They didn't do it. And that's probably my biggest disappointment in this film is that she didn't get punched.
She didn't give her the shin Shoryuken and shit. hit her in the jaw. Just look at the jaw. Go, bam! Fuck you. Bitch.
By the way, this is what I've often advocated that young girls should beat up other young girls. Like you should punch each other in the face.
You need to get hit in the face.
Yeah, no, this creates boundaries in life. This should have been Haley's lesson right here.
Yeah,
she turned out to be a totally different person if she got cracked right across the jaw. Like, oh. I didn't know that could happen. Yeah, it can happen.
Get hit in your fucking mouth. Life comes at you fast.
Yeah.
You're like, oh shit, that hurt.
Yeah. You learn to curb your tongue a little bit. Like, this bitch gonna hit me? No, I ain't gonna say that. Like, yeah. But when you don't have no boundaries, yeah. But look, I'll take a hairbrush being used as a weapon, and she immediately pulls it out and she was like, in his hand it did look like a weapon, and she was like, yeah, cool. What about mine? And then she just like gets right up in her face,
swinging it around.
Yeah, Haley was like, "Oh shit, I ain't never been in a fight."
Yeah, right. She was like, "Stop, drop, and roll! Stop, drop, and roll!"
Bitch ain't no fire. Yeah. See, bullies don't know what to do, and cowards don't know what to do when they're confronted. They don't. You just ball up and start crying. Look at this, the ugly cry face. Good.
Oh, stank bitch.
She looks like one of those like Japanese Yamamoto masks or whatever. I'm just saying, she does. No, but her being fake assaulted by Starr was great, and she's just crying. She's like, "That's what it's like, bitch," and she just fucking threw the brush down. She should have hit her in the head with it, but that would have been possibly assault. And I don't want a young black woman to get kicked out of school. And then she parted those white kids standing around. She parted them motherfuckers like Moses. Nigga, she was like, move. And they were like, whoa.
Like, she knows how to brush hair. Yeah, okay.
Like, nigga, she has braids. She going to be all right. You can be fine. And so Chris is like in her fit of rage. Chris is like, hey, you all right? She couldn't even see who he was. She was so angry. And he's like, no, it's me, Chris. And, DJ Khaled. Like, oh, shit, son, me from the beginning. And she was like, all right. Like, she came out of her blackout mode for a second. She was like, so a white person I respect. Okay. All right. And so they go and get in his $50,000+ Range Rover.
This nigga got a Range Rover. Yeah.
I work every day. Every day. And I ain't even sat in the passenger seat of a fucking Range Rover. What the fuck? I said a Land Rover, an old one. The one that looked like the Jurassic Park truck. That shit wasn't exciting at all. I knew a guy with a Range Rover. That's it. This is the closest I've ever gotten. And again, I work every day. Shit. It's a goddamn shame. So she's really upset. She gets in the car. She starts doing the fucking Boys in the Hood. She starts fucking swinging. Understandably,
He was like, yo, that's my glove compartment.
Like,
break it.
Yeah.
My nigga. If you could just do that. Is that okay?
Like, this is not my car.
My dad let me drive this. If
you're gonna deploy the airbag. Like, just calm down.
Yeah, just relax. I know how you people have unbelievable strength. I get it. Yeah, this is a rude awakening for Chris. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Just like, I get it now.
Yeah. I'm woke. I'm very woke now. Yeah, he was like, damn, I was, 2 days ago, I was just trying to get you like open this condom package. I was just trying to make it happen. Now you got to live on the edge, my man. Welcome to life. So then she gets a text that Seven has been beaten up by King, and so she gets Chris to drive her to the house to Seven's mother's house. Seven is not Lisa's son, and they go pick up King pick up Seven. He's all beaten up, and King comes to the house and they just miss him as they drive off in their, again, $50,000 plus Range Rover. I'm sure no one in the hood will recognize that car. And so they drive off. And as they're driving, they run right into a protest, and it's people protesting because it just came down that the court is not.
Pause for 1 second.
Yep.
I'm sitting here looking. What's her name? Leisha, his girlfriend.
Who?
King.
Oh yeah, Aisha or some shit.
Or
Like that.
Aisha. Yo, I'm looking at this. Yo, does she not look like Anthony Mackie in a wig? Yo, I'm looking. I'm like, yo, this is off-putting. Like, come on, yo.
No, that ain't right. That ain't right. It's accurate, but that ain't right.
Yo.
Oh, here's the thing, Terrence.
What?
Here's the thing. You're not wrong. You're not wrong. Are you saying that Anthony Mackie, little did we know,
He did double duty?
He's doing double duty performances
for this movie? Yo, come on.
You're an asshole.
Oh, shit.
So she makes him take... Antoinette Mackie makes the kids take all the kids and leave. But she wanted to, quote, get her drink on and shit. And so she leaves there while they're driving. God, I can't unsee that.
Yeah, I can't unsee it. especially because like when the kids go out the back door because King comes in, it's just female Anthony Mackie, male Anthony Mackie, female Anthony Mackie, male Anthony Mackie. Like the way the movie is cut.
Mac attack. That's fucked up.
Oh, man.
So then they end up in the middle of this protest because the streets are getting stopped because there are people out there protesting because the jury came down and they are not going to indict the police officer, to the shock of no one. Just as a side note, if you go to a protest, stop wearing Guy Fawkes masks.
Yeah, don't do that.
Nobody knows what it means. They saw it in V for Vendetta once and was like, oh, that's kind of cool. Nobody knows what it means.
Yeah, Guy Fawkes was a religious nutbag. Like, he wanted to destroy government and institute a entire, like, religious autocracy. What do you, like, what? Yeah, we got to take down the government and replace it with Mike Pence? Like, what are you talking about?
Right.
Stop.
They saw V for Vendetta. That's all that was.
Yeah, don't wear Guy Fawkes masks. Like, that just doesn't make any sense. Anyway, so they get out for the protest, and Chris is like, what can I do to help? And she's like, look, just take Kenya and her little sister and make sure they're safe. And he's like, all right, cool, I'll do that. And so Seven and Starr continue into the protest. And then we see Issa Rae is there, and there are people praying and you know, interacting with the police officers who are in riot shields and all this other stuff. And then we get the moment of Starr actually getting her own voice and speaking out on the megaphone about how Khalil's life did in fact matter, which is a pretty powerful moment because she is a kid who was just fucking terrified the whole time, and she actually got to be a fucking real life activist for a minute, and I'm sure it would change her character permanently forever. Which was a really redundant way of saying permanently. See, we can admit mistakes and then change them in real time. So then there was kind of a funny scene where tear gas is shot into the crowd. That part's not funny, but what is funny is she picks up the tear gas and she throws it back at the police. Later on, she gets a phone call. She gets a voicemail from her mom, like, who keeps trying to call her the whole time, and she's like, call me back. I see you was on TV. You got time enough to throw tear gas. You got time enough to return my phone call. I just thought that was funny. I was like, yo, even in the most serious of moments, a black mom is like, yo, don't fuck around, yo. Call your mother back. I'm not playing with you. Which I thought was just hilarious. So they get out of it. They eventually hitch a ride in a pickup truck back to Maverick's store because they're trying to get milk to wash out their eyes because of the tear gas. And weirdly, those two guys who helped them, they just steal that milk. They didn't even pay for it. It's fucked up. Just saying, it's wrong. You shouldn't steal, even in the middle of a riot when you're trying to survive, according to Fox News. You shouldn't ever do that.
All right, all right.
Yeah, no, I'm stealing that milk. If I need it for tear gas, I'm stealing that milk.
Guess what else I'm stealing? I'm stealing shit that I want. How about that?
Don't do that. Don't be that guy.
Fuck you. No, fuck you. Fuck you. If I gotta
stealing
go
the
down,
TV?
if I gotta go down to the chink store and steal some
Don't introduce that into your lexicon. It's not acceptable.
Nah. You shouldn't, but
You just gonna rob a Best Buy?
a corporation? Goddamn right.
What about a little small store?
A little small store.
you can't
Small
do that.
stores have little small things, and I don't want that shit.
You want the high end.
I want the high end shit.
Which store are you robbing in the middle of a riot? These are poignant questions that we need to know.
What store am I robbing in the middle of a riot? I don't know. I'm very superficial, right?
Yo,
I really want...
Micro Center's getting
that's about it.
Yeah.
Micro Center has pretty much everything that I myself personally, that I need.
We about to have a 9-camera setup in this motherfucker. You kidding me?
Like, what car you bringing though?
You got a truck?
I got a truck.
If I clear my trunk out and my back seat, I can fit a lot.
I can at least
back trunk.
My trunk's pretty big.
Yeah, my trunk is huge. I can fit a body in there if I need.
Oh shit, niggas, it's a riot. Clear the trunk out. We gotta go.
But TV, like only certain size televisions I could fit.
I can get TV.
I don't need a
TV.
TV.
Yeah,
I don't need a TV. I'll just get a projector. Just get a high-end projector. I don't need a TV. I'm good.
like a balling ass laptop.
Oh, I
Like
get
a
Or
$2,000
7 of them.
laptop. And sell them on fucking
Yeah. No, you take look, you get the one you want and you steal the other 6, you sell those. That's different. Yeah, fuck that.
Bunch of like external hard drives. I don't know.
I'd ride up and down Rockville Pike and just make a stop at every other light. Because there's just a bunch of fancy shit over there.
Yeah, no, that's fair. No, I'm going to Micro Center.
Including a Micro Center. So yeah.
Oh yeah. I'm going to work, man. I'm going to work.
And what you gonna do? Fucking Bethesda ass, Rockville ass, rich white people. What you gonna do when a riot breaks out? You know what you gonna do? You gonna get the fuck out of my way. That's what you gonna do.
Mask down. Let's go. You riding? Yeah, that would be kind of fun. There never riots in like really rich neighborhoods because it would just fall apart. It would fall apart. What are they gonna do?
They would stop, drop, and roll. That's what they would do. They wouldn't know what to do.
They got hairbrushes. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, we got to start riding our own parts of town. Let's just look. If you're gonna do it, let's start robbing the places that got real shit. We ain't got nothing. Yeah, you robbing the corner store. What? Take a payday? Get out of here. What the fuck is the point? Oh, I got a Snickers bar.
Fresh.
Some fake bottles of water. Like, oh shit, they got the what is it? Arizona iced teas. It's 99 cents on a can, dog. Yo, they selling these for $1.29. This is a deal. No. So the guys leave, and they leave Seven and Starr in the store, and they're doing okay. And then King and his boys are watching from across the street, and they literally walk in and throw a Molotov cocktail into the store, trying to kill Starr and Seven. His own son. Kind of fucking shit is that? Tries to kill his own son because she mentioned the King Lords during the TV interview. So luckily, Maverick gets there. He's able to open the back door with the help of 2 guys in the neighborhood who run businesses right next to him. And they open the door, and the kids make it out, and they survive. And of course, Maverick immediately runs. He sees King, and he immediately runs over there. He's like, King! And it's like, it's time to fight. And then King
Anthony Mackie is really short compared to that bodyguard, yo. Like, it's laughable,
he's mad tiny, dude.
It's laughable. What are you doing, yo?
Anthony Mackie is the mini boss, and that nigga is the boss.
Right.
Like, what the fuck? So he Maverick goes to pull his gun out of his back. I don't know if he realizes it's not there or he's faking like it's Like it's
Like he's going for it
he
at
was
first,
going
and he's
for
like, "Oh shit, that motherfucker's not there. Let me still front."
I mean, that's a smart move. Like, oh, who took my gun? Like, oh, nah, yo, I was kidding. Hold on a
I
second.
was just joking.
Yeah, see, thanks, thinking quick on your feet. And it turns out their youngest son,
Joy.
what is fuck? I forgot his name.
Sakani.
Thank you. He actually grabbed the gun and he points the gun at King, and he's like, "Leave my daddy alone." And meanwhile, Lisa has shown up, and everybody is there watching this. And the cops pull up. Carlos is there, and he's like, "Hey, like, don't shoot. I'm a cop." And they're like, "We don't give a fuck. You're all black." And then Common is like, "Oh, I am a bitch ass nigga. I was right." Like, yeah, dude, what the fuck? And so, Sakani is literally crying while he's holding the gun because, of course, the hate you give to little infants fucks everybody. So he's standing there with the gun, getting ready to continue the cycle of violence. And meanwhile, King literally has his hand on his own gun. I guess he was going to shoot that little boy. Again, he seems to be okay with murdering children. And so Starr literally walks in front of her brother with the gun at the defiance of the police, and just like she puts her hands up and she's like, "No, we're no more violence. How much more violence needs to happen for you cops to fucking get it?" And she's literally wearing the Khalil shirt at this time, and Sakani puts the gun down, and his parents rush over and help him and everything. And so then the cops just leave. They're just like, "Yeah, okay. This was a joyful moment. We're just gonna bounce." And nobody dies, thankfully. Flash forward, and everybody is for some reason cool with Uncle Carlos. I don't get it, but he's there. I'd be like, "Nah, nigga, fuck you. You get this shit now." By the way, my uncle, my former uncle, he's not married, thankfully, to my aunt anymore because he was a scumbag, nigga. He was a cop, and he was a scumbag for many reasons, but he was also a scumbag cop, and which is probably a 1-for-1. And this happened to him, by the way. He was off duty, and a white cop pulled him over and made him lay on the ground and everything, and was threatening to shoot him because he thought that like there was some shit going on. He was like, "I'm a fucking cop." It was like, "Yeah,
That's all you niggas say.
Yeah.
The cops.
Yeah.
Show me proof. Too late. Get on the ground.
yeah, get your wallet out. Oh, I'm reaching for. Oh, sorry, I thought this was my stun gun. Bam, you're dead."
Right.
Yeah, he got fucking put on the ground by another cop. He was a newly retired cop.
Oh, well. You're retired.
Oh, no,
You know what
shit.
that means? You're not a cop.
Well, not in cop world, it don't.
You just lied to an officer.
You just like, that's an offense that comes
Punishable
with murder.
by death.
Yeah, punishable by death. So, so everybody is happy now. Sakani is shooting people, but it's with a hose of water. So thankfully, everyone survives. Everybody's good. Everybody's good. So Sakani still is a joyful kid, which is a positive. Seven graduates high school. His ghetto ass mom, Anthony Mackie, gets up there and she's like, "Yeah, that's my baby. Go on now." I was like, "Wow, Anthony Mackie, you're doing really great in this role." And so then we see Starr. She's still dating Chris, and she still has her one white friend, but she doesn't have her other white friend, Haley.
That is an Asian actress. Asian American.
Oh, okay. I'm
She looks
sorry.
Asian. She also looked kind of like Jennifer Lawrence. A little bit.
That's interesting. So she's now rocking a natural haircut, which was dope. I like to see that. So she says now Chris truly sees her, and she's got her Asian friend. So like that part's cool. And Haley is sitting there across at the other table, looking sad.
Good.
Yeah.
Yo, stank bitch. Fucking hated her, man.
Yeah, no, she was awful. She was a terrible character. I wish right at that moment they were like, and then they're all walking out to leave, and then she just gets hit by a bus, like, boom. And we all celebrated. It was great. And so, so that there ends the story. She goes over to Khalil's house, and she actually finds that he still had his Harry Potter wand. And even though he lied earlier and said he didn't, she gets it and she takes a picture of her and him and Natasha when they were kids. And she holds on to the Harry Potter wand because they were a little Harry Potter gang, as her father said earlier. And that's the end of the story. She says she will always remember him.
There you go.
There you go.
Isn't it fucking wild that, like, Harry Potter is referenced in this movie as something from the past?
Yes. It's fucking strange.
Like, I've never seen any of those movies, but like,
they're good.
Them shits came out in like 2000.
Like, oh yeah, remember when we did this when we were kids? What the fuck? You are kids.
Yeah. Yeah, I had that moment where I was like, what the hell are you talking about? The timeline doesn't make sense. Oh, right. Yeah, because that came out like 2001.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's super weird. Yeah, Harry Potter is a story of the past.
Right.
Like, yo, those movies felt like they came out 9 minutes ago. Like,
Right. Like
weird. They're still coming out.
They're talking about Harry Potter like we talk about Transformers and shit. You know
Or
what I mean?
Star Wars.
Right.
Back when I was a kid in 1983, Star Wars came out. Like, back when I was 3 in 2001. Like, ugh. Fuck the youth. Anyway.
That's not a command, by the way.
No, don't. Fuck kids. Don't fuck kids. That's not what you mean. All right, that's. God damn it. All right, that's it for episode 145, The Hate You Give. And we will see you guys next time.
See ya.
Take it easy.
Bye. You're watching the Black on Black Cinema YouTube channel. Make sure you check out our full reviews of black movies, past and present. And every other week, we do a preview episode where we talk about a random topic that affects the black community.